My name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
But no, it's Magik, baby. Oh, yes, Scott, you are right. Welcome to Omni X-Men, but not so much Uncanny as Magik, the miniseries night here on Omni X-Men, and a finale of sorts because we are wrapping up the third Omnibus in the Chris Claremont-era, which means I got this jamoke hanging backstage.
Oh, sorry, I had to jam out to this as my theme song coming into this, you know.
I sent Justin a gift from Hamilton with the one last time because I was enjoying making one last slideshow. He didn't have to make slideshows tonight. He's already on summer vacation. I was making my last slideshow and I was thinking about one last time, man.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was telling Lady No Good that you sent me that GIF, and she's a huge Hamilton fan. And I said, yeah, he wrote, one last time, and she's like, oh yeah, and then that's it, right? And then I was like, well, not until next season. And she's like, well, yeah, if you do one more. And I'm like, one more. We're doing this for the rest of our lives. This
we
is literally
renewed officially for season 5 because the fifth Omnibus just dropped today at my LCS snagged volume 5.
Yeah. And then later,
YouTube has renewed us for 5 seasons.
Plus 10 years from now, we'll be doing this.
And then we'll eventually get to New Mutants, right?
We have
Morrison's new X-Men Omnibus drops
and
soon.
And then we'll be doing Hickman like 30 years from now.
There's a lot going on here. And as typical of our audience, Gary B's like, I'm just going to go until I fall asleep. I mean, that's our goal is to get all the way until you crash.
You try to help people get to sleep.
Yeah, we're here to help. We're here to help.
I'm a pro.
So yeah, this show is ongoing. However, in 2 weeks, we have our big giveaway for season 3. We're giving away a lot of awesome things. Some amazing comics, of course, but also some original art from artist Tim Stacy. His link is down below, and this piece of original art that we commissioned from him, we are giving this away.
Yep.
So getting on the raffle at the end and spinning that wheel, you might be the winner of some phenomenal original art commissioned.
Yep. I'll have some Legos. Great. I'll be giving away some Legos. Not this guy, but
don't give away Gambit.
Can't give away Gambit.
He's got that amazing head sock. You don't want to give that away. I think that's the actual term for that. And the one fingerless glove. So yeah, definitely stick around at the end because we're going to do some more options for trivia to get on the wheel for tonight's to giveaway. And it's based on last week's show. So those that hung out or just want to be funny can get a chance.
Be ready.
I'm super amped. I feel like I've got a celebrity on the show tonight. I'm just super excited. Legitimately one of the coolest people I've met in this community. Way cooler than me and Justin.
Yes, way cooler.
Legitimately the cool one of the coolest people. We got Jennifer from Comic Books Will Break Your Heart.
Y'all are gonna make me fucking cry. Wait, sorry. You're amazing. I love both of you so much. So much.
I'm just so glad that you're willing to hang out with us.
Listen, you had asked me to you did ask me to be on the show.
It was like 3 years ago.
A long time ago. And then I remember you recently, I think that you forgot about me, which it's okay. I won't hold it against you.
It's probably true.
But then when you were doing this, you're like, hey, these are the story arcs that we're gonna do. Which one do you want to do? And Magik and of course. And then you're like, okay, we won't do that one till May or June. And I'm like, and this was maybe back in November, December.
Definitely fall. Yeah.
See you next year.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? It's worth the wait.
I've never had anyone say that about me, but I'm so glad.
Say what? What if you never had anyone say about you?
That I'm worth the wait. Yeah, so those that don't know, I'm a teacher and I am definitely a little anal, so I tend to book this show in the fall for the entire year. I just book it all and then don't have to, set it and forget it. And that's kind of how I do this. And then in the case of Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, legitimately forget that I booked him and then book somebody else and then other things happen. But yeah, so I booked Jen way in advance. I'm so glad you wanted to do this because I pitched it as we're going to do all 4 issues of this miniseries in one night.
If we didn't do all 4 issues, I'd be kind of upset.
Having reread it for this show, I feel like it has to be this way, right? It has to be. Mm-hmm. So huge thank you for being willing to go down this rabbit hole into Belasco's world with us.
Oh yeah.
Another
wild one.
Then I got some fun surprises before we get to Jen's questions of the night here. But we got Magic Lasso in the chat saying hi to all of us. He says, one day Belasco finds a tree, starts to kill it. Don't, I'm a talking tree, the tree says. And Belasco replies, yes, and you will die a log.
Thank you, Magic Lasso.
The student of comics in the chat, one of the best IG accounts I know.
Scott.
So
a
glad
Portland person too.
I know. Yet another reason to go up north.
Yes.
For me. Let's see who else we got here. We got JP Budget Collecting. He says, I thought I was late. Stop shaming me, man. Stop. It was
my fault. Hey, can I plug something really quick? I know it's.
Please.
I'm just not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna do what I want. Hey, tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Maybe JP needs to remind me. Tomorrow night, are we doing Sandman? Maybe this is me asking.
Oh, nice.
We're doing the 9th volume of Sandman. Is it tomorrow? Is it next week?
Maybe deep in the weeds of Sandman.
We really are.
Awesome.
It goes deep.
Nice.
And then it goes even deeper.
Well, and Jennifer's links are all down below. So if you want to get her Instagram, get her YouTube, and she'll let you know when the show's coming over there on JP's channel. So don't follow JP though. We don't do that. What is up, Perry in the chat? What's going on, my man? Perry, good to see you.
Thanks for hanging out earlier, Perry. Appreciate you, man.
And Candace. Lego friend extraordinaire. I feel like I should hold up some Legos, but they're all behind.
Yeah, Candace. Yeah.
Oh, I'll hold up Totoro. Little Totoro.
There you go, Totoro.
All right. We got Perry Comics as well. I hope you hit the like button twice, Perry. I hope each account hit all the like buttons, my man.
All 6 accounts.
We got another Paul. We got Paul in the chat. What's Big O? What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Favorite X-Men is Irvin Johnson. Matt, because he's magic. I get it. I get it. We got Cali Comics. He was just being interviewed by Gary B tonight. Another great John from California. Right there.
Nice. What's up, Kelly?
Gary B, I said hello earlier, but hello again. Good to see you, Gary. Let's see. We got Actual Dracula. What's up, Adrian? Good to see you. Signature King says, what's up, Marvel nerds?
Nice.
We're all here with all the X people like Jackson Roy Kirk. Good to see you. Listening as you trim herd. I don't know what that means. Sounds like a... I don't want to. Don't tell me what it means. Don't tell me. It's better that I don't know. We got Bobby De La Ghetto in the chat. What is going on, Bobby? Cheers to you, sir. Prost. Let's see. Let's see. I think I got most everybody. Lots of people. When I met John, he had a bag with my name on it. He's a total teacher. Yeah, I legitimately went to Florida. Everybody had a Ziploc bag with giveaway items in it. So everybody got their own little giveaway bag. You get a giveaway bag. If this was Justin's channel, we'd be here till sunrise. Burn.
Which would be a good thing because the longer we stay together, positive.
More magic for all of us.
Yes. Can never have too much magic.
What's up, Eric? Good to see you. Do them all at once. Digest them all. Take it all.
Yeah.
Hey, Chet's in the chat. Hey, Chet, who I hear is giving away another slab in 2 weeks on Justin's channel as part of the giveaway. I'm guilty into it because he hasn't left me messages about it, but he does it every year. So the assumption is there's a slab floating around that guy's house.
I heard
with your name on it, folks.
Chet is going to make it rain. Chet's going to make it rain.
He's going to just drop slabs on everybody.
Yes, that's what I was
saying. So I'm assuming that's still happening. I'm just assuming. Perry reacts. I got a third Perry link. Drop them all. Hit those like buttons. Drop them all, man.
Perry.
Appreciate it. I can do another slab or two.
Oh, see? There it is. All right.
That's another reason to stick around. Get on the wheel at the end.
Heard it here live. Yep.
There we go. Everybody's been helloed. We're 10 minutes in. I'm running slower than usual, but I have a special thing I want to do real quick. Shout out to Magic Lasso Ryan because as a little birthday treat to that guy, last Thursday was that guy's birthday. Next Thursday, my birthday. We're caught in the middle. We're back. 2 weeks apart on birthday wise. Yep. He put together a little something awesome. I didn't help a ton because I'm not helpful, but he did create this.
I can take all the credit though.
Right, I will absolutely because it's on my channel and I get to present it first time ever. This is an example of how into X-Men Justin and I are. He made this for us.
And of course, John is Storm. Of course.
Yes.
I love my Lilandra hair.
I even went in with an app that made me bald and got the right pose for him and snapped it again just to make sure.
That is amazing. I love my sandwich t-shirt. Oh my gosh. So good. So good.
So I will send this to Justin so that he can enjoy it, because we are in the midst of Mohawk Storm and amazing Lilandra headdress hair.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, my friend.
That is it. He says that's what next season will look like. He's gonna get his hair going. I'm gonna not get my hair going because I don't have much. But
by that time, maybe StreamYard will have like that filter. Like maybe you could do
Mohawk Storm filter.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you'd have to really shave your head probably.
It's doable.
If you were
totally doable.
So happy belated birthday to this guy.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
and I will send you I'm sure if Ryan hasn't already sent it to you, I will send it to you so you can load it on your StreamYard as
well. Forget that. I'm getting a tattoo of that thing. That's great. That's what I'm doing.
Just the sandwich on this side and then the hair on this side.
It's going to be great.
All right. So back to the real purpose of the night, which is this awesome lady and Magik. So we got some questions for Jennifer about her connections with the X-Men universe. Justin, let's kick it off.
All right, Jennifer. So my first question for you is, who is an underrated X-Men or mutant character that you feel is underrated or not as appreciated as perhaps they should be?
Geez, I feel like they really all are underrated at some point. I mean, maybe not all of them, but I feel like Quentin Quire. I have a soft spot for Quentin Quire, Kid Omega. I feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Maybe it's because he's a fucking jerk. Maybe that's why I love him. But I love Quentin Quire. I'm a Quentin Quire fan.
I fell in love with him reading the Jason Aaron Wolverine in the X-Men run. Okay. Where Wolverine's the headmaster and Quentin is the biggest screw up in the school and like basically destroying it every week. Like that was when I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's interesting. And of course, they've used him in the modern era in the Hickman era as well. But I have not. He first appeared in the Morrison run, right?
I believe so.
Because I haven't read that one yet.
I feel like I don't know why he hasn't gotten like his own solo series. Maybe it's coming, but yeah, 100%. He deserves his own series right now. I think it's his time.
Yeah,
he's paid his dues.
I only know him from the newest stuff, like the Hickman and newer. That's all I've ever really read from him. I mean, I'm missing a big gap, in between in my X-Men fandom.
And maybe Scott in the chat, because I know he liked that run too, can remind me. There's a cover with him. He's got this pink mohawk, and he's sitting there, and it's something about Wolverine a T-shirt that he's wearing that's making fun of Wolverine. Yeah. I can't remember what it said, but I laughed out loud when I saw it. I was like, "That's hilarious." But he definitely makes fun of his teachers a lot. Great pick. Very good one.
Another question I had for you, and Jen, I know we connect on a lot of different music styles, especially some of our favorite metals.
I was hoping that you were going to bring this up. I was hoping that you were going to bring some metal up.
So my question for you is, if you were to construct a metal band based on X-Men and mutant characters of your choice, at least for some of the key roles, such as, drums, guitar, bass, singer, growler, things of that nature, who would be part of this band of yours?
I definitely think, I feel like the obvious answer would be Dazzler, but I think that she would, but hold up. I think that she would be a really good, like maybe band manager.
Okay. So she's too poppy for metal, right?
Yes. And well, she could do like a baby metal type thing, or even, I don't know if you know who Faye Tooth is, who's like fairy magic metal. So maybe she could do something like that.
The fact that there's a genre called fairy magic metal.
Yes. Check it out. But I feel like Magik, she would have to be somewhere. I don't know where. Also Jubilee. I feel like Jubilee would be a really good drummer for some reason.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then I want to say, I never know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Dakin, I feel like he would bring, I don't know,
he's
that
very
like
metal.
Very metal, but very also like he could bring that like sexy front runner, like singer, front lead person.
Heck yeah. He could probably growl too. He probably has that kind of voice.
Some of his dad's growly.
Yeah. And the like sexy pheromone. I just see him as like that front singer. So that's who I would probably put together immediately
Love it.
How do you have a metal band though without? I guess Colossus is not very metal as a character, but he's literally metal.
He's literally metal.
He's the bouncer. He's the one to make sure that nobody gets up on stage.
He's the merch girl. He's at the merch table.
Yeah, there you go.
Girl, I love it. So good. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I thought of you, and I know actual Dracula's in the chat. Just the other day, I went and saw Dark Funeral and Cattle Decapitation, along with this in 200 Stab Wounds was there, but this indigenous metal band called Black Braid, which is really good. I know actual Dracula was like not at the same show I was, but they had seen the tour as well. So.
That's cool. I had gone through a very small stage of Cattle Decapitation, and it's even funny hearing me say that because it sounds like you were into that for a little bit of time in your life, or like such a unique name. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
Really I want to clip the sound effect of you saying, "I went through a phase of cattle decapitation."
yeah,
I really like Cattle Decapitation
because it didn't come off the way I think you wanted it to.
No, maybe not.
It was a great show.
There he is, Dracula, actual Dracula, right there.
Yeah, yep. Black Braid was incredible.
I don't know Black Braid. I'll have to check them out.
They were great.
No. John, do you have a question you want to throw?
I mean, always. So I was at my shop today, and we were talking about some of our favorite X-Men covers, and we were talking about Storm, and I was commenting on how clearly like there was a race card element in the fact that she really never had a solo cover until Barry Windsor Smith's issue 198, like right before issue 200. She was on the team for over 100 issues and never had a solo cover, never even really had a major cover. Like obviously Phoenix had a bunch, and Rogue later had a ton, and then it was finally like a few issues. It was like another 50 issues before Will Sportasio did that amazing one where she's looking up at the rain. Like Storm clearly was relegated to back tier just because of her race and never got the cover love until the last, decade maybe. But do you have any favorite X covers that you're like, I love the art on this cover, or this cover is just amazing to me?
I have really been liking what are they calling the variants? The Quiet Council variants.
Yes.
Is it Phil Noto who's been doing?
Yes. The one with the frame.
The one with the frame. Noto. Yep, Noto. And I have like slowly been getting those. Has Storm gotten one? I think she has.
She did. Yes. It was on Immortal, I think.
Yeah. And then Magik, Mystique, and her wife Destiny, and Magneto. I have a handful. I'm not going to collect all of them. But
I think Colossus is coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
John's like, of course I have it right here.
I was gonna say I have a ton of them right next to me. I have all my Storm covers next to me, but I don't have that one. God,
boo.
Such a fail.
So I really
so
like I get the timeless variants. Those ones are excellent, but I think that the Quiet Council variants they're a little bit more I guess elegant. I don't know.
Well, they're of our current moment. They feel like what would hang in the Hellfire Club right now. Like they would hang in somewhere in Krakoa in like a room, versus the timeless variants are legitimately that. It's a different era. They don't like Storm looks so different in her timeless variant versus the Krakoa cover.
Yeah, and I got the Scarlet Witch one as well, and it definitely felt like the throwback. It was the original costume, not that it's changed up like too much as far as the headdress, but it's a lot more classic. But these are a lot more elegant.
Totally, good call. Love it. Awesome. And again, all the links for Jennifer are down below, and then Justin too, because in 2 weeks we're on his channel for the big giveaway. Not next week. We're taking a week off to get everything ready for the giveaway, and then in 2 weeks on the 27th, we're on Justin's channel.
Yep, we're gonna make it rain.
All right, so let's dive in tonight. We're talking about Magik, or often called Storm and Illyana, issues 1 through 4. And I just wrote fall of 83. This came out across several months through to December of 1983. Now, again, depending on where you might have been, what your shop or what your newsstand might have been dropping them. So we're talking about 4 issues, and I decided to kind of like give the covers a little more space here to look at some of these different covers. And I listed the artists because the covers all except for the two Ron friends, we had 3 different artists making these covers. I didn't know if anybody had any thoughts, Justin, on some of the artwork we're getting here across these 4 issues.
I mean, I will say, out of all, I think they're all great covers. I had recently bought this too for the first, like, actual in single issues, which I'm glad to have in collection. I have to find them. But this one stands out to me the most, and I think just the way that she's drawn, and also just like knowing now, especially now knowing like how this story kind of goes, seeing her in control in this way, and almost in a very dark, evilish way, kind of wondering what's going on now, and especially compared to the others, where it's clearly that she's growing up, she's learning as she's going, and she's getting older. Like it just tells the story really nicely. And I think just the pose and everything else, I think she looks badass there. I love the colors. I feel like that one is more iconic out of the other 3, but I do like them all, and I think that as we get into the story and everything, that they're all very accurate to again what the stories tell, which is something I always appreciate and look for. Is that they're not just random covers like that one that we had broken down where Xavier's at a funeral, but he's not in the book.
They're carrying his body, but he ain't dead.
He's not dead. These are a lot of fun.
Jennifer, any thoughts on these 4 covers for you?
I would exactly like pretty much the same thing. This 4th one right here, and I think Big O had said the chaos in issue 4 is totally highlighted in this. You really see her come into her power, and that's like the whole. I mean, I don't like spoiler alert. Like that's this whole arc is that you see her come into her power. You see this background into why she's such a literally tortured soul. But she's reclaimed. I think it happens in issue 3 technically, where she has this dialogue where she's really reclaiming her inner darkness.
Right.
But issue 4, this cover really, really shows that.
That's a great point. And I do think it capitalizes on the concept in general, right? The evolution we're getting of Illyana as a character. I personally feel like the other covers are super busy, and the action is very ill-defined. I don't necessarily dislike any of them, but cover issue 1, way on the far side there, the Buscema one, it's just kind of abstract. I don't know what's going on. I get Kitty Pryde's side butt. I don't know kind of what's going on there. I don't know that it's Kitty if you haven't read it. There's a lot of background for a cover that is supposed to get me excited for this series. 4 is I don't know that I love her face, but I love the dynamic energy you get out of it. It's very much like this Wiccan kind of thing going on, and the sword, the He-Man pose that she's got going there with the sword. I'm just digging that one a ton. The others are just really busy for me. I do like the 3rd one a lot, where you have Belasco holding the gem up, and kind of it symbolizes a lot of stuff. Although I think his line he is saying on the cover is hilarious. He says, "My love or Storm's love or Storm's life, choose." And I'm like, Storm's life? Is this really a question? I don't want your love, Storm's life. How is this actually this is not Sophie's choice. This is not Sophie's choice. Belasco's love or Storm's life? Really? This is the trivia question for me.
But I maybe we'll dive more into this though.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's what Magik is literally struggling with, because she's I want his. I don't know if she necessarily says I want his love, but it's more I want his attention. I want his power. I want something from him. And that's so classic of people who have been abused, is that they know that it's a fucked up situation, but they're I still need it.
Right.
So to me, that's a little bit on brand. Yes, of course, Storm's life, but yeah.
It's just cracked me up. So let's dive right into this. We are starting off at the X Mansion. Illyana is standing on a cliff's edge, pondering life's mysteries in pink, and holding up a medallion of some sort, an amulet, and she's opening it up to show a star with 3 red dots on it, very ominously thinking back to what she's gone through. And then we jump to previously on Uncanny X-Men. We see where we left off with her story and the drama around issue 160, when we really saw Belasco fighting for keeping her, and she aged rapidly, while an older Storm was sort of fighting to save her life. So any thoughts on the recap where we're diving right into this, Justin? Kind of a fun spread page there with both storms. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was a great recap, a great opening to just setting the scene again, reminding us where she had left off in that, moment of being pulled, and being rescued essentially, while all this stuff was going on with Belasco from 160. So a nice little reminder too of like, oh yeah, there were two storms. Technically, like all this stuff was going on. So I like that it was kind of taken within this one spread page, and then and then even just the build up with this page before it. But I love the artwork too, and also like, I'll point it out here now, but like these couple panels, and even like throughout a lot of this, the close-ups, the face details of a lot of the close-ups, I really appreciate. And while there is some art that I wasn't crazy about through this, there are definitely some moments that I really appreciated. And like some of the closer drawings, like even the one next to Jenn of Illyana there, the next panel over, like that, just seeing her close up like that, the tears and emotion and everything, I think you get really well, especially as opposed to some of the more further out stuff and some of the creatures. But great spread page.
And I know that Scott mentioned it in the chat, and Jen, I don't know how big of a fan of John Buscema you are, but John Buscema was what they call the not the finisher, the opposite of the finisher. Sorry,
the beginner.
He was the layouts.
Yeah.
Sorry, the layouts. The beginner,
the first responder.
The first responder. And then we have, I think it's Tom Palmer finishing off the artwork, kind of like Frank Miller and Klaus Janson might have done during the Daredevil era. Sure. Are you a Buscema fan? How do you feel about how this kicks off here?
100%. I do. Here's the thing though, and I do want to mention too, I can't remember if it's all the issues, but Glynis Wayne does the coloring. She does the coloring on a lot of these, which she did for so much in Marvel. So I really want to like shout out her. But I would disagree that this is a good recap. I truly think that you might want to go back because there are some time jumps and some age things that happen that I'm like, wait, what? And so I had to go back and like look at them. So I think that if it wasn't fresh, or if you had never read them, if you jumped into this recap, you would probably be a little bit confused.
Gotcha. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Yeah, I was thinking from my perspective, but
and I do think
from your perspective. No, I'm just kidding.
I do think you need issue 160 in this story for sure. I don't think you should go in blind.
No.
Anyway.
And I don't know, any of the collected issues, if they the paperbacks, if they have that, but I hope that they come out with something like that would explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great point. Let's jump as we go through the memories here. We show the split moment where she was torn between Belasco's world and ours, and we know that she came out much older, but we didn't see what happened. And so that's clearly where we're going from this bit. We get to see her pulled back by Belasco. We get to see Storm as this older version, this magic user version, trying to vie for the life of Illyana, to try to save her. And Belasco, meanwhile, is basically taking the essence of this child out, aging her up, and creating a version of, planting a sort of a version of himself, an element of himself inside of her, creating this essence at the core of her, which is sort of that glowing green gem in the far corner there that he's planting back into the young child version of Illyana. And you kind of see her in the center there change from innocent young girl into this sort of demon with the red eyes, the demon-faced version, which is a personality we get. Those of you that are fans of the character Magik know the dark child version of her that we tend to get in stories later on. So Jen, I know you've read a ton of Magik connected stories. How well did you remember this bit here?
Yes, because like you said, those connections. I had read this one a while back, but
excited. But this is like the core of the whole thing, is this planted seed that changes her character forever.
Reading this again, I was the honest thing is I was incredibly put off by how little I remembered how fucked up it was, the age gap. And then it's like, oh, we're going to age her up just, I don't know, as a loophole. That's what it felt like. It felt like that's the thing that I took away from this moment, is how fucking fucked up it was.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's very creepy.
Hey, Marvel by the
but
month.
There's a perversity to the devil basically traumatizing and converting an innocent kid into his own purpose here, right?
Yeah.
Justin, any thoughts on our innocent, sweet little Illyana, saved from a tractor by her brother, and the first time we ever saw her, now demonized?
I'm with Bobby when he said Belasco always freaked me out. Yeah, what an evil character.
Right.
I mean, even seeing like his different face expressions and the detail, he has like yellow eyes throughout a lot of this. The horns are red, but his eyes are yellow. And then of course you got Illyana's eyes turning red the way they are. Like, so I'm not, this was so helpful for me to like get more of a background on Magik, because prior to this I didn't have a lot of the details, other than again what I've read from like some of the Hickman stuff and things like that. Otherwise, Magik's still fairly new to me in terms of some of her background stories. So this is all was very eye-opening and definitely connected the dots to some things. But really disturbing. And even just seeing the faces of her going from that
the transition, right?
When I read this digitally, like definitely like kind of freaky to see that. And then of course the head's going down and he's seeing her evil side of things. So
have you are you like kind of caught up on current X-Men? I know that's like a loaded question.
Yeah, I was gonna say
a complicated answer, right?
Yeah, that's a very sorry. Yeah.
Specifically, is there something you had in mind that you like a certain series?
There's it's the main title X-Men, and I know even that's like, oh, which current just X-Men straight X-Men title from the last 5 years, because there's fucking 3 of them.
I haven't read the new issue that dropped last week because I know it's sitting in my other room, but I've caught up to them.
Okay, because there's I don't even know which one it is. I can't even recall who it's written by, but it goes a little bit more into Magik. It features her, and it does go into like some of this back stuff. So I feel like if you did like this, then I mean, I love
the X of Sword, the way they used her in the X of Swords storyline,
and that makes so much sense because Soul Sword.
The Soul Sword, and you see her, and you see the dominion that she's ruling. You know, I think you see a lot of that stuff in that storyline. I thought they used her perfectly there.
Yeah. Oh, Jen, you'll have to let me know which one you're talking about later.
Callie mentioned Kazar's the Savage 2 issues for Belasco's first appearance, but for non-collectors and readers instead, it's the amulet and the bloodstones get explained a lot in that bit. Hello to Marvel by the month. I didn't say hello to you. And Aisling Black, he says Belasco, one of the most deeply unsettling villains. And
I wonder why.
Right. Just traumatizing kids, like
traumatizing and trying to fucking statutory rape.
Yeah, basically, he also says read the she says read the New Mutants. I think issues 25 to 30.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's not even the X-Men. Maybe it is New Mutant. That's probably actually correct. So thank you for that.
Cool.
She did the research and brought the receipts. So thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah, she's nailed it there. Awesome. And Justin, I think, is possibly able to start the original New Mutants. Got that omnibus right there. So everybody prepare for Omni New Mutants in the near future.
How big that is. Omni New Mutants. That'd be great.
All right, well, let's continue along here. He shows how he's created this little bloodstone. He places it in the amulet and then basically gives it to her as this object controlling her destiny. But while he's preparing this, he basically decides to attack this version of Storm, the older version of Storm, trying to basically kill her. A demon comes in to help him, and in the midst of basically finishing Storm off, some crazy woman in some buck wild outfit jumps in, starts throwing stars, has a sword, starts fighting, only to realize, no, Belasco can get away. So Belasco vanishes. He calls her Cat, and we realize it's Kitty Pryde in one of the most this outfit. Like this. So here's where I'm at. Like, I believe a talented writer can write anybody. They can write any race, any ethnicity, any gender. This is where you can tell it's a lot of guys working on this project. A lot of men on the front side of this project, because between the Storm outfit we're going to see later,
weird for the time. They didn't usually do that.
Right? Shocking. And this Kitty Pryde outfit, I just don't know. There were a couple of panels in this bit that I was like, wow, that's a lot of woman there. That's a lot of woman.
And that's not referring. And I mean, of course, you think that now, but then is it the next issue 2, where Storm just casually goes for a dip in the water?
It's coming up.
Yeah,
Be ready.
Okay.
Be ready. I posted on my Instagram story. I'm reading Magik for the story, and then I cut to all these images of this is the story.
I know
Magik.
you fell in love with Storm before then, and she's been like naked in a pool or like swimming several times.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah.
All the time. To call Kitty's outfit buck wild. So this is where I'm at, JP. This is where I'm at. Is this, and this is my question for Justin, is this her most crazy outfit we've seen up to now? Because Kitty Pryde has been notorious from the introduction of her to now in having just the most crazy fashion sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just used to it now at this point. When I see a crazy outfit, I automatically know it's Kitty. There's no surprise. I didn't need to read the name Cat that came out after, because I just immediately think, who here do I know that has the craziest outfits in all the land?
Yeah,
and
they didn't need to call her Cat. You're like, hey, it's Kitty Pryde.
Yes, immediately. Yeah, oh, a new costume. Yeah.
I think, you know, what it is that she's the youngest member of the X-Men, right?
She is. Not in this story, but in most stories.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, like, she's just being trendy, right? Like, she's just, and we're being the old people that are like, what are the kids' outfits these days?
Kids these days.
And she's literally like,
That's
it's
hilarious.
called fashion, sweetie.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Look it up, Dad.
Look it up.
Jeez. That's hilarious.
100%.
Oh my gosh. So any thoughts then on the Kitty Pryde we get in this story, Justin? Like, who is the, you know, were you like, oh, because in issue 160, where we saw the older X-Men who had been stuck in Belasco's world, never saw Kitty.
True. Yeah, no, I was excited. I mean, I was hoping that, I mean, generally speaking, these 4 issues, like I going into this so excited to just know that they addressed this timeline, like this period of time in which, you know, again, reading 160, kind of knowing where that left off, knowing the potential, you know, I was going to bring up later, but this whole thing this is what I want for the Vault issues from Hickman. Ooh. With, you know, everything that X-23 had gone through with, you know, like that whole thing. So I want to do something like that.
A 4-issue miniseries of the Vault.
Well, I want like an omnibus of that, but yeah, I mean, you know, whatever we can get with
because they only gave us one real issue of what happened there.
So, but this was great because this was like, we got that the 7-year span of like what's going on. So yeah, to know that, you know, these other characters were going to be in here, or these, like, I don't know what you want to call them, these duplicates, or these not clones, but just different time zones or whatever. So it's cool to see Kitty. And hey, I mean, she can fight. We already know all her talents and skills and everything, especially as she grows up. So
she's all grown up.
To see her here in action,
definitely grown up.
She's battling basically the devil, you know, and she's learned, as she explains through this whole, you know, issue and series, she's learned because she had to. Like, she was just thrown into this. She's had no other option. There's no danger room at this point for her to prepare with after she left, you know, the rest of the group. So she's very raw and intense, and she's got to be in order to survive. So I like this Kitty Pryde.
I love Cali Comics. Everybody dresses provocatively in Limbo. That's just it's Limbo. Even Sim has the butt flap outfit. I get it. Like, there you go. This is a fair point.
Could you imagine Emma Frost in Limbo?
There's nowhere else she can't go up. There's no escalating up. Right?
Yeah. She would probably get more conservative in Limbo.
Yeah.
Like,
she gets like a full tuxedo.
Like just turtleneck from the waist down, but like opposite of what she wears. So it's cut out.
She's in a Nancy Myers movie now.
It's very baggy and
I love the hashtag not my kitty. I mean, no, she's a cat. She's not a kitty anymore. She's a cat.
No kitty here. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue on. Sorry, what?
We've got 4 more issues.
I've got so much to get through. It's crazy. So Cat and Storm rescue her. They bring her back to their little, I don't know, hideaway. Storm has this like nature-filled lair, and she decides, you know what? I'm going to figure out what Belasco did because I have a feeling it's similar to what happened to me. She uses her magic because, again, Storm in this universe, this era, or this iteration of Storm is a magic user. And she dives in only to find inside of inside of Illyana, this older version of Illyana that has been corrupted, this demon-like Illyana version. And inside of this Illyana universe, they have a fight. I keep messing up the names. Storm versus Illyana, basically fighting over the control of the soul of Illyana inside this sort of, I don't know. Now we're like a pocket universe inside of a pocket universe. And this version of Illyana, this corrupted version, knows that also Storm is similarly corrupted. And Storm is like, this is bad. I need to just get out of here. So she uses her electricity to overpower this version of Illyana and then dash away. So basically Storm coming to the realization that Kitty Pryde has been just as corrupted as she is, right? So any thoughts, Jen, on how Storm, this magic user, is a significant part of what's going on in Illyana's world now?
Yeah, and it'll obviously it'll come to play later on in the issues. But I think that's one of the things that's almost a little bit confusing, where you're like, wait, since when does Storm have magic? But it makes total sense in this.
Right.
It gets explained.
Yeah, and again, that's part of what I love about issue 160, and they've hinted at it at other points in Storm's character's life. The fact that there is this magic user part to her, this sorceress part to her, but it's fully realized here, right?
And it's I think it's maybe explained a little bit later on, it's completely separated from the mutant powers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a learned skill.
2 different things. Yeah,
right. Aisling saying Limbo taints you the longer you're there, so it makes sense that Cat would be so different from the cute roller skating 13-year-old that we've seen up to now. JP says she would wear Emma would wear sweatshirts and sweatpants.
Yeah, with just the nipple cutouts.
Oh Jesus! Justin, any thoughts on this? I'm just gonna move right past it. On Storm, on this iteration of Storm that we're getting.
It just getting an understanding that she does have this darker side, and the fact that this has happened to her, and where is this going to play a role later on down the road of she's got the horns, as you can see there, a little bit more of a reveal in doing so. I also want to add I love Illyana's outfit or design that she has, with almost poison ivy-ish with the vines going up her legs, I guess, or wrapped around her. And then
easier to see her down at the bottom, the far corner there.
Riding the horse and everything else. Yeah. So that, it would be interesting to get more of that character in that with the horse and all that stuff. I'd be curious a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Storm comes back and then dives into the pool buck naked as only Jen and I could want, and then Kitty Pryde Cat is there in her outfit and takes the mask off to show us that, yes, I am turning into a cat. It's part of the corruption of Limbo and what's been going on with Belasco. She has been evolving as well into this sort of murder cat.
Murder kitten.
Right? Do you like it?
I love that band.
I was thinking of cats making murder muffins, right? When they're doing the little massaging on you. So Storm decides, I need to figure out what's really going on with Illyana. Takes her out into this part of her realm where there's this very ancient tree that is connected to Storm's sorcery and where her energy is coming from, and basically meditates with her to examine what's happening inside of Illyana. Where is this corruption at? And to show Illyana her power and how it's working. Then she goes inside of Illyana and shows her, look, you've got this thing in your core, and I've got the same thing in my core. So they have a little discussion of what's happening. And after using her power to create flowers, they walk away and the flowers instantly die away, sort of showing the concept that even the beautiful things you use with the power of Belasco rot pretty quickly. Then Illyana goes to sleep, and while sleeping, Storm gets attacked and knocked into the pool by, of course, it's Cat, but they can hide it from us. But thoughts about, from Justin, thoughts about what Storm is trying to teach here? Because for me, this 4-issue saga is Storm teaches Illyana, Cat teaches Illyana, Belasco teaches Illyana, and then Illyana teaches herself. And that, like, this is all part of the evolution of who Magik is becoming, right?
Oh, 100%. That's well said. Between each of them being their kind of a teacher in their own way to her,
right?
And even her being herself. Yeah, no, definitely. And this was just like, I mean, this was definitely a lot of information. These couple panels here, I feel like they definitely go through a lot of stuff, but kind of needs to happen to get an understanding, especially when we lead into some of these other issues, especially towards the end, seeing how some of it comes full circle and things like that, and understanding her thoughts towards the end. Also the way this like abruptly ends with like the Storm getting like ringed around the neck, like that was pretty brutal, man. Like,
I had to use the Ewok like toss.
Yeah. That's a
Gift
great
there.
gift for that. Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Jennifer, any thoughts on Storm and this version of Storm clearly feeling like there's this evil in her, but trying to use it for good, right?
Yeah. The thing that I took away most from it was I really feel like Chris Claremont either had like a pagan or Wiccan friend, like explaining, like, or maybe just a really like hippie friend, because in these moments, Storm is like telling Illyana, like, okay, connect with the earth and like feel the power, feel the energy, feel the life force, like connect to that. So I feel like either Chris Claremont did a lot of research into it, or he had a really good like pagan friend that he was like, so tell me how magic works in this.
Yeah, I mean, he feels like I feel like he had a religious upbringing, and then he went and learned about the history of religions and faith, and had an awakening to like the connectivity to, pagan rituals and nature and Mother Earth and all these kinds of things. I think he grew beyond an understanding of just one faith. So you have the Nightcrawler character who clearly has a pure faith, a youthful kind of faith, and then you have Storm who's got a very pagan kind of faith. And I feel like one of the cool things about Claremont's era is the blending of understandings beyond our own mortality, right?
Yeah, because like, when you think about Storm and her mutant powers and how they are connected, obviously to lightning, but I don't think that she's ever considered, maybe she is, but like an earth goddess, maybe like, back in her origins. So I think that's definitely brought here, where it's like she's seen as the earth goddess of nature here.
Well, they bring that up definitely in the early appearances, that she was being worshipped,
yes,
right? That she was a goddess because she could bring the rains down in Africa. She could bring the rains and basically cause the dry seasons to be shorter for those people living in and around where she was existing. And that she believed she was a goddess until Xavier showed up. It was like, you're not a goddess. You're a normal person, but you have this amazing ability.
Of course, he had to come and like mansplain it. It's like, you're not actually a goddess. I'm going to try to bring you a notch down. You're not actually a goddess. But...
Oh my
god! X gene and
anybody who can come on our show and tell me more about how Professor Xavier is a douche.
Sure,
Score.
We all know it.
Win. That's a win. Moving on, Kitty Pryde wants to kidnap our young Illyana and take her off. So they jump through a portal to escape away because she feels like, no, Illyana needs to learn how to fight. Illyana needs to be tough. Let me take her where she can really achieve her ends. So we jump to issue 2, whereas Cat is basically taking her towards Belasco's tower, which means we're getting connections to issue 160 of Uncanny X-Men, where we see those other members of the X-Men who have died. Basically, the guys couldn't survive, couldn't handle Belasco's world. We got a dead Colossus hanging on the wall. We have seen the skeleton of Wolverine at different points in 160. The only one seems to have survived is Nightcrawler. We'll get to him later. But we have Sim in his little mankini there. finding little Illyana running through this realm, and while Kitty Pryde is fighting demons. This brings us to him picking her up by her hair, threatening her, trying to beat off Cat, who's like, come on, dude, I got all these cool powers, you can't stop me.
Yep.
They jump through another realm, landing in the desert to escape, and there Kitty shows her how to kill a two-headed saber-toothed tiger and eat its blood and heart raw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly, Illyana, this is really not what I signed up for. This is quite a savage start to the second half of the second issue of the story. How on board, Justin, are you with the bloodthirsty cat?
It's a little over the top with being a mentor, and I get she's trying to train her and trying to teach her the ways, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely brutal. This whole thing, I mean, very much I get at least certain moments, obviously horror vibes, especially being this, the whole demon based stuff, but to see Colossus the way we do in the page or the slide that you had prior, is like so brutal. And
knowing that it's her big brother who she loves.
Yes.
She's
like reading this
by that.
100%. Reading this, I'm trying to put my perspective in like what Illyana's going through and seeing, and especially like you said, like being that it's family and someone she misses so much right now. To see that has got to be so scarring, and that's a scary pick. That's a scary panel too. The way it's like deformed, his stomach is like missing. Like it
reminds me of Alien and Aliens, right? Where like the chest burster, like a big hole in the middle of his chest.
It's just like a rib cage.
He had been like rotting there. Didn't they say something that like that was a while back? So he's like literally been sitting there rotting.
Oh yeah. A long time.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, this what's his name? Sim, Sym.
Yeah.
So he always has a cigar. You notice that? He's always, even like in his fight scenes and everything, he's just casually like lighting up. And I don't know. I see him opening up.
Don't worry, we'll take care of him later. Jen, any thoughts on Kat and her teaching skills and the savagery of this version of Kitty Pryde?
Yes, they really try to like bring the point that she is an animal. Like they're not just calling her Kat for a reason. Like she is a literal animal predator. She is going, like, I think even at this point, she just like suddenly attacks the cat. And Illyana is kind of bewildered by it. And then they do share a meal. And she's like, oh, well, thank goodness she cooked the cat for me. But the cat over here literally like ate the cat raw, just raw meat. So we know a little bit about cat's digestive system, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Great point, Eric. His leather vest goes with his banana hammock. It's a good combo. It's a,
Bring
it's
that
a 1-2 punch.
We've been talking about the absurdity of the outfits, like,
It swings. It's nice that it swings at least somewhat both ways.
Exactly.
You get the ladies and the guy, or if you can count him as a guy. I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
They don't define
I see him as a big they them bow, like a
there you
himbo,
go,
but a they them.
There you go. I accept that. Candace says it's nightmare fuel. There you go. That's however you look at it. Which I think is kind of the purpose.
Or the Colossus.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Kat is basically saying, I need to teach this girl. Wake up first thing in the morning, and Kat's like, all right, I'm going to slap you with my sword. We're going to run many, many, many miles. We got days ahead of us. I'm going to fight you in between. Storm shows up. He's like, seriously, you took her away from me. I was in the midst of teaching her. She's like, screw you. I'm going to beat her up some more. I'm going to teach her how to use a sword. Illyana gets really good at it, actually nicks Cat, which is not an easy thing to do for somebody who can go incorporeal, to be able to actually hit them with your weapon. Pretty impressive. And they're on their way to Belasco's tower, and Cat reveals, I'm trying to help you get home. And basically we need to go back to the tower to find one of these portals to help you get back to where you're from. I want to save you from living here because I've lived here and I like you and I don't want you to suffer. So takes her back up in there, only to find that's not a gargoyle. That's Nightcrawler. He's still alive. He's one of the only men that's been able to survive this place. And he starts beating the crap out of both of them. And they try to cut him. They try to throw knives at him. But of course, he's like, I teleport, dude. What are you going to do? No, turns out a cat pulls him down into the floor and lets him go so that his foot is now stuck in the floor. And then while he's screaming in pain, stabs him through the back. Cat yet vicious again. Jen, how do you feel about the death of Nightcrawler?
So, you brought up a good point that he's one of the only like remaining survivors. And I really, maybe that's an interesting metaphor for how one of the most faithful, probably literally the most like faithful person of the like X-Men survived in this hell limbo, this demonic limbo. So I don't know, poor Nightcrawler. Because he's been through a lot.
And he doesn't necessarily seem to have like complete like knowledge of what he's doing at this point. He seems clearly corrupted by the environment.
Yeah. But I really, a couple pages before
the training montage,
training montage. That's literally like I was reading this and I'm hearing the Rocky theme song.
I was literally going to say that.
Stole it from you. Sorry.
I was going to say that.
I feel like I was listening to that because they're literally like running, and Magik at one point passes out and is like, I can't even, like, my body feels horrendous. I can't even go anymore. And then Cat is like, too fucking bad. Like, we gotta go.
Yeah. Let me slap you with the sword.
Let me slap you with the sword. And so, like, seriously, Cat is brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But they made it up those stairs. And then they're like,
Justin, any thoughts here on Cat the teacher and the death of Nightcrawler?
Yeah, so I really appreciate that we are getting these scenes, the training, like the training montages we're talking about, like that. Knowing how brutal they are because of the fact of like knowing how strong Magik is and how skilled she is in combat and everything else. Like this explains a lot, like she had gone through some stuff, like this is like, you can't like, you talk about like war and stuff like that. Like she had experienced some stuff in what is, to her real time, even though I know this is all taking place in like seconds technically, but
it's like Inception, the harder you think about it, but
right. Oh yeah.
It's true.
So, and then the other thing with Nightcrawler, I have to say, if there is one team member from the X-Men that I would be terrified if they were ever evil, it would, or, bad guy, whatever, it would be Nightcrawler. I just feel like he's so good at what he does and is like impossible to like stop. And it's cool to see, Kat do her thing and she's able to do it. But like, just generally speaking, like if I was an X-Men and I found out Nightcrawler turned sides, like I'd be terrified. Like I would lose to Nightcrawler like every time. Like, he just seems, he has everything. He is like the ultimate package. So to see him like this in like this almost like barbaric form, like really, really wicked. And then a really cool way to see Kat use her abilities to kind of bring him under the ground, which again, like I appreciate that type of stuff from the newer stuff, Hickman and beyond, seeing Kitty Pryde, combat in the way that she does with, guys with machine guns and stuff like that. So to see her going up against Nightcrawler here, knowing that this was written back, years ago, cool to just, know that the
40 years ago.
Oh my gosh. But John, the 90s were only like 10 years, no?
Stop. Great comments from Callie saying that the BAMF smoke, that brimstone, is connected to Limbo, right? The Nightcrawler power connected to Limbo. Aisling saying that Nightcrawler also was a real creeper, this version of Nightcrawler in issue 160. So this is Kitty Pryde getting vengeance for the way he treated her.
He was a creeper. I remember that. He was a creeper.
Definitely. And yes.
So he did go evil, technically.
Yes, yeah.
Callie saying that, that opening sequence to X2, where you see Nightcrawler going through the White House, pretty badass. Really cool. Cue that 80s arena rock training music. For me, I don't hear Rocky. I hear Team America. When I hear, what you need is a montage. That's what I hear. So Kitty finally leads her in and is saying, like, look, we're in Belasco's lair. Now is the time to get out of here. Let's try to BAMF or whatever out of this place. But then, like, the power is so inconsistent, the power to cross realms. So you get instead this sort of psychedelic bit here where Belasco reveals, no, I know you were here all along. I've been controlling this whole thing. Thank you for bringing my Illyana back to me. This is exactly what I wanted. And My reward is to turn you more into a cat. Turns Cat legitimately into now she's got fur and a tail and like, yeah, the whole thing, pointy ears. And basically she's purring at Belasco's side and super creepy. Then he uses his power over her to force Illyana to cut herself and add another bloodstone to the medallion as a way to prove like, yes, this is exactly as I foretold. And Storm is watching all of this going, oh, this is not what we needed. I got to now kill everybody to make this right. And that's how the second issue ends. Yeah, folks, we're an hour into the show. We've only done 2 issues. We're moving. Justin, how you feeling about the twist here that Belasco basically it's all going to his plan?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And this is a world where anything goes. So anything you're reading now, it's almost like you got to question, like, is this real? Is this even like part of what's going on? Are they do they really have a hand up on Belasco right now? I doubt it. He just seems to always be in control, and it's reference to that a lot. Even with the time zones and stuff. And I know Sim like explains like, yeah, like this time is his friend here, even though he can't be outside of this. Anything inside though, it's like it's full control. The other thing was Illyana cutting herself there and like having that mentality to do that, even though she's like, as we talked about, like struggling with both sides and being kind of pulled both. I thought that was a really heavy scene. And especially just related, like thinking to like, even like real life stuff and like, I don't know, like cults and like things, manipulative people and, all these other factors that go into, demons that we all, may battle from different angles of life. To know that as a kid, especially she's just being a kid, that she goes ahead and still does this whole thing, even though she was like so close to like, they thought they were going to escape. Essentially, they thought that was, going to be the end of it. So yeah, there are a lot of heavy moments here. Also, one creepy thing, I think it was around this time when Belasco turns Cat into like a full cat. Doesn't it mention somewhere that she like feasts on like one of the creatures or something like that? Did I misread that?
I may have forgotten that. See if you can find it.
I think she did of night. Maybe it was of Nightcrawler. Like afterwards, she like. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I
check your Omni because I may have skipped that panel out of here. Sorry. Jen, any thoughts on Illyana? Basically, now she's entered the realm for issue 3 to get her third teacher, which is clearly going to be Belasco.
Yeah, and like you said, it's all going to Belasco's plan, just as he's kind of wanted. And this is one of those moments where you see Illyana, where she's like, obviously he's the bad guy, but I want his attention. Like, I think that there's this moment where he's like, he's so close to me, I could stab him, but then she ends up cutting herself instead. So I think that once again, that's very true of how people who survive trauma and people who survive abuse, you can never say like, well, why didn't they leave? Because abusers are so fucking good at making you want to stay and making you afraid of leaving. So I definitely, So
that's beautiful.
Whether that was intended or not, that's how I'm reading it.
No, I think it's exactly. I can't believe I didn't catch that link. That's phenomenal.
So I don't know. I don't necessarily want to give Chris Claremont as much credit. He could probably take it, but. So anyways, that's one of the things that resonated with me, and you can see that she struggles with it, and it'll come to a head in the next couple of issues. We'll really see that come through.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great comment, and yeah, the idea that of course, he's one of Marvel's devils, right? The idea the devil would manipulate you and control you in that way. Wow, that's phenomenal. Love it.
Thank you.
And there's some great comments in the chat too. Firstly, if we're on Justice channel, we'd be in deep weeds. Thank you, JP, for making me feel a little better. I don't know this term, fursona, the furry persona that I'm assuming she
nailed it.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, her fursona. There you go.
So if you were gonna be a furry, John, like what would your furry persona look like?
My wife would say it's an otter.
Okay.
I think my wife would say it's an otter. I do, my favorite animal is the dolphin, for so many reasons, but I would furry wise, dolphins aren't furry, so I'd probably go with the otter.
Okay.
What about you, Jen?
I have no clue. I was not going to go that deep into that question.
You ask your question, you get the answer. I'm ready. You realize I work with children. I work with kids. I get daily asked what my favorite dinosaur is. Like this is definitely like within the realm of what I do on an average Monday. Justin,
okay.
favorite. What would your persona be, Justin?
I have no idea.
Come on.
Yeah.
How am I the only one that's thought about this?
So you had a kid in your class ask you about like what's your persona?
I mean, they ask me what my favorite animal is regularly.
Okay.
John had thought about that. Yes. The question is, why haven't they? We're going to move on to the training of Belasco. He's using another montage. We got demons that are attacking. He's using the demons to train. We've got Kitty Pryde as the cat now, fully a cat, basically like attacking her in ways. And I may have maybe it was in here somewhere that they're saying in the chat that cat eats Nightcrawler in some scene here. I don't see it.
And then he's Squidge, the little
pet demon there,
the little pet that's leaping at us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
but I think he does. I think she does eat Nightcrawler from the last issue. I gotta find that.
Yeah. And then at one point, Illyana runs in fear to her bedroom to get away from Cat, who of course can go through doors, so not really easy to escape. Only to have Cat say Illyana's name, which tells us clearly there's still a cat inside of her somewhere. But Illyana uses her magical powers, throws a pillow at her, and then uses magic to like push Cat away. And when Cat leaves, realizes, you know what, I have something inside of me that I can try to do better on my own, and tries to scry on the ground this symbol, this star that we've seen in the amulet before, and utilize it as a way to kind of like escape. She's able to create a small bit of nature, an acorn, only to have it like instantly corrupted and turn into, I don't know, oily sludge. And she collapses on the ground just to find another kind of version of ghosty magic storm ready to kind of come to her aid. So we're seeing clearly now an Illyana that's gone from just basically follower. She's chasing people around. They're trying to teach her, but she's just following in their footsteps to, I'm going to do this on my own. That's a big step, right, Jen? Like this is clearly, and she's become a magic user.
Yeah, and she's taken a lot of the things that she's learned, and she's putting all of these pieces and like this puzzle pieces together where she's like, okay, Storm told me that she had like realized her magic power. Like one of the first things that she had done was create an acorn. So I'm going to go ahead and create an acorn. Okay, I saw Belasco put the pentagram on the floor, and he specifically sat in it this way. But when I've seen Storm do it, she sits on it this way. And so you see like, okay, I'm going to do it the way that Storm does it, but I still know that I'm taking part of like what Belasco has taught me and what Storm has taught me. So like this is the moment where she is maybe like combining those two, the good and evil inside of herself as well. I don't know if it's like that's the metaphor, is that she's like becoming herself and like literally realizing her power, but it's not there just yet.
Well, the concept that any power, any magic could have more than one facet and not necessarily be good or evil, but that the user themselves would be the one to define that, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely at play here. Justin, any thoughts on the growth, the evolution for Illyana here?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate like seeing, again, over these are now a couple years. I know even from the first issue we started has gone by now, and to see where she's at and starting to really continue to explore based on what she's learned and what she's seen around her, and work, using this magic the way that she's trying to, and putting it to the test. This whole acorn thing, it's failing. I know we see it again, a little later, but just interesting to see her reaction to some of that. And then I also like
on the ongoing visual of nature being corrupted, right?
Right. Yeah. And then I also like Astral Storm. I like that the idea of like the astral plane.
I'm going to move forward one page because
go
we do get you can continue telling us about, because we get to see that this version of Storm is a visual entity that's not really there.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, like, generally speaking, like, I love like stories that talk about like for astral, like the astral plane of things and outer body experiences, things like that. So I like that this whole series kind of covers, little portions of that, or at least ties into that because they're in this, limbo universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jenn, we see her now create light circles. Storm is saying, look, you have some power. You need to figure out how to use it. She creates these light circles and is able to kind of move through time and space with them. She ends up inside of, I don't know, what looks like lungs or some kind of weird tunnel, only to have her bed be hit by a car and the New Mutants jump out. The New Mutants are like, whoa,
Yeah.
we're just driving down, New York streets, and then we hit your bed. What are you doing? Then
I hate when that
Illyana
happens.
jumps through another light circle only to land back in Belasco's tower. And Storm's like, stop, you're using all this power. You don't know what you're doing. And jump forward to Heyo Storm in her heyday in this place.
Yeah.
We've now skipped back and forth in time. Very Inception-y. Illyana has now gotten a vision of Storm with her full magic power trying to defeat Belasco, only to destroy him and realize that murdering him corrupts her. And Storm instantly crumbles under the weight of what she's done, and this plants that seed inside of her. Now, Illyana coming to the realization, this is not the road I should be traveling, that there's Storm's path, Belasco's path, and there's got to be a third buried inside of all of this. Thoughts on what Illyana's learning or that outfit? Whatever you want to talk about. Jenn, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So sorry. That outfit though. Yes, 100%. Like, I don't know, is there a way to even like blow this up? But Storm is she's absolutely amazing. But I do think that because we get to go back and we get to see this like vision of what happened to Storm, and we get to see, I think this was another one of those moments where like Belasco tricked Storm. So we get to see, we saw him do it before, and now we see him do it again.
Yeah.
So I think that Magik also had, spoiler alert, but you do get to see that he's a little bit trickier and not what he seems.
Right.
That even when Storm thought she was going to win, she didn't.
She did what he wanted, right?
Yeah, it was all part of his plan.
herself.
Always in
Corrupted
control,
herself.
this guy.
Yeah. Justin, it's quite an outfit.
So this outfit is
I love JP's like, John likes that Storm outfit.
Yeah.
And that's, definitely Grace Jones inspirational elements here. Don't, A View to a Kill, underrated James Bond movie. Halle Bailey refused that costume. Yeah, because it's basically just pieces of ribbon wrapped around her. Like,
Yeah.
That's nothing.
it's not even a Christmas present. They forgot the wrapping. They just put the ribbon on it. Ron Friends, underrated artist. Slaved. Hey, the rhythm is going to get you, Chet. I've heard this. It's true. Just watch it. But Justin, for me, the reason I love this scene, outfits aside, is the fact that this clearly sets up the final issue that we're going to get later.
That's true. Yeah. No, it definitely, I guess as for foreshadowing or kind of, like you said, setting it up for what's to come. Like I said before, like Blasco's one of those, he is in full control. And even when you think he's not, like, just boom, this is all according to plan with him.
Right.
And, it's big that she's able to witness that, Illyana, the way she is.
Yeah.
And just going back, I love that New Mutants scene, them just showing up there. I had thought that she was in, like those lungs or whatever. I pictured what are they called? The giant fish.
Spaceships.
The
The Akanti.
Akanti, yeah. That's immediately
Great
came to mind
call.
because the pink and purples, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh, what is she doing out in space again? Okay.
Well,
like, you know.
shout out to X-Men always using pink and purple
That's true.
really, really well.
That's
The
true.
colorists on Uncanny during the Claremont era and even earlier,
Shout
really
out Glynis Wayne.
Yeah.
great coloring.
Yes.
Great coloring.
Yeah.
So yeah, Illyana then showing up in our, I guess if you can call anything the present, we get to see older Storm, magic user Storm, currently now trying to fight Belasco to rescue Illyana. Cat running around in there trying to help Belasco. And one of the craziest scenes, Illyana jumps on Cat, snaps her neck, kills Cat, and then Belasco's like, excellent. Yes, now we are really creating the evil I wanted in you all along. Illyana feeling horrible, like my poor friend Storm is dying here. I just murdered Cat. What is happening? And of course, Belasco saying, yes, this is perfect. Now we can enter the final phase of turning her into a monster. Justin, your thoughts on like the murder of Cat?
Yeah, over the top. I mean, like, I was trying to decide like what was my favorite issue out of the 4 of these, and I know we still have one more to break down, but like I like between 3 and 4. I mean, these scenes here, especially at the end, like I was not expecting the way they went down, and I know we get some other stuff as we get into 4, but man, the fight scene with her, I like the layout of it too, the way it's like knockout white, all the different panels technically, and then to see the snap, to see the way the body motion is and everything, and the word snap going down the page there, like it's really well done, like from an artist perspective, the layouts and everything else, I really appreciate it for those reasons. And then to see this like darker side, and again Blasco's like, yep, there you go, keep it going, do more of that. It's like, how do you get this guy? How do you not do what he wants you to do?
Right. Oh, and now we got more heavy metal going on here. Kill the cat is dead, long live the cat, of Megadeth. There you go. There you go. Jen, thoughts on the murder of Cat and then the victory lap that Belasco seems to be having here?
Yeah. So I think, spoiler alert a little bit, but in the beginning of the next issue, I think Magik becomes a little bit more like introspective about this moment, and she's like, fuck, there is an evil inside of me because I had to do that. So she does struggle with that, like, balance in her. But like, seriously, this page panel right here, that is such a good one right here.
Yeah, the big splash page.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then we get Belasco saying you need to kill Storm. Like, you need to stab her. We need to add to your bloodstones here. You need to kill her. And she does. And then lightning strikes the tower because Storm had laid a magic spell into this whole thing that basically gives Illyana the chance to escape from the moment of Belasco's triumph. And Belasco's, of course, screaming at her and upset about the whole thing. And Illyana escapes to a weird pocket realm again, and we get very abstract here. We have zombie Storm, we've got Illyana's parents and the farmhouse where she grew up, and then the X-Men that had died as zombies chasing her, and she's just basically suffering a ton. Belasco saying, no, you need to add more to the amulet. He adds another droplet to another bloodstone to the amulet, and then basically tells her, you may have like escaped me, but I still own you, right? Eventually, of course, you will not want to leave me. Perhaps you may ask nicely, I might forgive you. And then he leaves her basically at Storm's magical tree, but it is suffering the phase of winter. There's so much going on here, and I don't want to quite get to the soul sword here, but like, Jen, this is like where we really get the creation, the origin story of Magik, right?
Yeah. And so this is, I think, I thought that this was in like the beginning of issue 4, but it is at the end of this issue here where
no, we're into 4 now.
We're into 4. Okay.
This is 4.
So this is where she gets really introspective, and she is like, I've got these two like things inside of me. I've got like, I am maybe not like all good. I'm maybe not all evil. how can I use this? So you really see her taking all of those lessons, whether they were for good or whether they were for bad, and using it. And one of the most heartbreaking moments, because throughout this entire series, she just wants to go home, right? Like she's thinking about her parents, she's thinking about Colossus. And so one of the most heartbreaking moments is that she does go home and she sees her mom. She knocks on the door, she sees her mom, and then her mom is like, you ain't my kid. Like, my kid is a baby. You're a grown,
because she's aged, right? She's basically 20 now.
Yeah,
she's aged those years that we didn't get to see, right?
Exactly. So, we get, and so her mom is like, you're not my child. When I saw my child, she was 6 years old. So, she leaves, and so that's really heartbreaking.
Totally.
But then you do get to see her come into her power. And that metaphor, I didn't really realize it until just now when you were saying it, but maybe this could even be a metaphor for Persephone and Hades, where Hades kidnapped Persephone, brought her to hell. So even though she's like this queen of hell, she's also the queen of nature.
That's
so maybe
phenomenal.
Maybe there's like a little bit of that Greek mythology in there too.
Well, and while you were talking, I was thinking Wizard of Oz. I was thinking the Dorothy sucked down into this world trying to get home, but there's no place like home. But getting home, it's you that changed. Home is still there, but you've changed through this journey. So there's a Wizard of Oz element here that's blowing my mind. That's fantastic. Hello to JG in the chat. Asking what month or when this run came out, and 80. People commenting that it was the same time of year that Beta Ray Bill 83 was first appearing in Thor comic books. So late 83, end of 83. That part with her parents, brutal for sure. Justin, any thoughts here on Illyana basically being put to the test? Right, she's basically forced to hold on to the scraps of power that she's culled together through the teachings of Storm. Even Belasco legitimately teaching her things, even if it's absolutely brutal. And then, of course, Kat as well.
Yeah, like I just think of all the experiences that she's had within these, these 4 issues. And I think to like, even thinking ahead, or in this case, like the issues technically prior to this, of when she's back and she's with Kitty, and to know that she is like trying to be a kid with Kitty, and in the present day stuff, and knowing that she went through all this crazy stuff, like this is insane, like all of it. And to know, like, I mean, this is a true nightmare. I mean, a lot of this is just a true nightmare, especially this issue. Seeing the X-Men the way they were, very zombified, like, and then the parents scene, definitely just it cuts at the heart. I mean, it's all of it. It's between all that and the fact that she's been missing everybody this entire time. She just wants to get home. I can only imagine like what she's really feeling at this point, and just being sick and tired of all the tests that she's had to be, up against, and missing everything else. This is definitely, I mean, she's some could say she's more experienced than some of the X-Men at this point. I mean, when she goes back into the present time, I mean, even those for
I feel like, and maybe Jen remembers New Mutants better than I, but I feel like they brought that when she joins the New Mutants as a character. And of course, this is in the, some of the darker issues of New Mutants. You get the sense that she is a more mature, more aware character than the rest of the people on the team. They are still youthful, kid-like, but Kate Pryde and Illyana have this knowledge base that Roberto and some of the other New Mutants don't have at that point. Is that how you remember New Mutants, Jen?
I do, and she's very serious, but maybe a little bit more in the newer issues. She's a lot more sassy, but she's definitely very serious. It kind of reminds me when like people, maybe like if I reveal some things that have like happened to me in my past, or like some trauma that I have, and when people are like, man, like you're so strong, and I will be like, fuck strong, fuck being resilient. I don't want to be resilient. I want to be soft. Like, I think that's why I identify with Magik, because I feel like there's this part of her where she's like, I have literally been to hell. I have literally gone through all of these things. Yes, it made me a strong person, but there are moments when she doesn't want to be strong. And I think you see that with her wanting to like reverting back to a child, where she's like, I wish that I could just be soft.
Yeah.
And isn't that the beauty of being battle hardened? Is that now you've earned the choice to choose who you allow into the spaces of that hardened you, the softer you. You understand the both sides of that coin, right?
Mm-hmm. So then you know, yes, exactly. You have that perspective. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think she's literally going through hell, right? She's literally that's
as a child. As a child,
13-year-old.
Her, I mean, like technically you can say that yes,
Charlie, because
brain...
Charlie turns 13 in September. If you want to like frame it by my YouTube channel, Charlie is 13 almost.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like thinking about that, like yes, her body is technically aging. Like I think that they haven't necessarily.
Yes, we're talking about you. Come on in. Charlie's right here.
Charlie.
Yeah, button up the shirt there, girl, because we're not showing off any magic here.
What's up, Charlie?
She's legitimately just got out of the shower, so she's buttoning up her shirt.
Oh goodness. So I think
fine.
that when we see Magik, it's like her body that's aged. It's not necessarily her mind.
Charlie.
But she like experiences this trauma that pushes her mind. Hi, Charlie.
You know Jennifer and Justin, right?
You know Jennifer, you know Justin. Oh my gosh.
Do you know the character of Magik, Illyana Rasputin, Colossus's sister?
Yeah.
So we're reading the story of when Illyana ages 7 years because she's trapped in basically hell. And she gains her magic powers that go along with her mutant powers. And so you see her, there she is on the screen. Basically, the next bit is she's stuck to this tree that has the essence of Storm, who's basically been a sorceress in this universe, this hell universe. And Illyana is living off the life force attached to this tree, and she's created a barrier using the pentagram you can see on the ground, the fiery star symbol that's underneath it, that's protecting her from the winter, the endless winter that Belasco, the devil, is unleashing. And she keeps trying to utilize magic and create these acorn seeds like Storm did, but every time they turn to this oily muck. And even the tree that she's drawing energy from is dying and falling apart. And she comes to the realization that what she doesn't need to do is create nature or nasty, right? She doesn't need to create heaven or hell. She needs to create a weapon or a tool that will allow her to have her own power. So she draws on her own energy and creates the soul sword, which is the tool that she's most known for utilizing as a character. And we see basically the birth of the soul sword, which had its first appearance in an X-Men issue previous to this. But here we get to see it actually, her craft it for the very first time.
That was its cameo. This is its first appearance.
This is Hulk 181.
The whole 181 debate. God damn.
So we're talking about how Illyana has aged from age 13 to 20 in this 7 year span. So I was talking about how you're almost 13.
Crazy, right?
What? Illyana's cool, right? She's cool.
In 2 years and a few months, Kate's going to be an adult.
Wait, Kate turned 16 in November. Is that an adult?
No, in 2 years and a few months.
18 is an adult?
Yeah. Once
I mean, I remember being 18 and not feeling like I was an adult.
No, well, that's the age in America when you're considered.
You can't even drink. You can only drive.
Yeah, but
I
and
guarantee
vote.
you, I'm 34 and I need adult supervision.
I was say I'm still not an adult.
Yeah.
You see how many Legos Justin buys?
Yeah, I have
He's
a
not
ton
an
of
adult.
Legos, a ton of them.
I got in trouble with your mom the other day for how many Legos I bought.
Actually?
Yes. All right. Well, I'll let you read these issues later, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Charlie.
That was hilarious. She heard her name. She's like, came running.
Love it.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, so
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just want to confirm the age. So for right now, so she was the beginning of this book, she was 6 and she's like 14 now, right? You said 20.
I thought it was 13 becoming 20. Am I wrong on that? Is it 6
No, she was
becoming
6.
13?
She was 6 at the beginning of this.
She was 6 at the very beginning, and then I think
JP agrees with Justin.
technically, I think
it's like 7
Velasco
years.
like ages her to 13 or 14.
Gotcha.
And but then
Because by the
So
time she
I'm
gets back
wrong.
with Kitty, they're the same age.
I'm wrong.
You know.
Everybody's agreeing with Justin and not me. So I'm clearly a moron.
I wanted to double check because I didn't recall the 20 part, but I didn't know if I might have missed it.
Aisling is saying she's agreeing. She's saying it's 6 at the beginning. So there you go.
There you go.
16 going on 17. No. There you go. Way off. I totally missed the chat a bunch there. Everybody's saying hi to Charlie. I will pass all the hellos on Candace, JP, Adam. Much appreciated, Ryan. And look at all the people saying, you guys didn't say hi to me like this. What the heck? Get the heck out of my chat. What's going on here? Callie says, I like the version of Magik who is perturbed by our problems in this realm because she has problems in limbo that are 1,000 times worse, right? Yeah, the petty problems that the New Mutants face versus the life that she spent the 7 whatever years doing this.
That's why she's so sassy, and I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
JP says, I gave John a list of comics earlier that will probably get him in trouble when he tries to buy them all. Yeah, JP sent me all the best covers of Storm. That's like sending an addict heroin. Like, what are you doing?
Let's start a GoFundMe, friends.
So wrong.
There you go. Yes,
this is all bad. Yeah. For every super chat is a comic I have to buy from JP off of his stupid list.
JP, can you send me that list for so I know the covers not to buy?
The covers not to buy. Yeah, right. So Justin, thoughts on the birth of the Soul Sword here?
Yeah, this was awesome. And I never knew how this kind of went down. Didn't know, even again, learning more about Magik, like the Soul Sword, didn't really understand like the aspect of it or how it came to be. So this was a really cool way to kind of learn about it or dive into it and then see it kind of go into action as we're going to see here in the next couple pages. Yeah.
And I had to do the He-Man Jenn as far as like, because she's known for having very skimpy outfits, just like our guy He-Man here with his, is it a pube skirt that he wears? I don't even know. Jenn, any thoughts on, for me, the juice of this story is how putting together all the teachings that she's got, Magik basically figures out all those people did it wrong.
Yep.
Like Velasco doesn't understand this. Storm doesn't understand this. Kat doesn't understand this. She has to figure it out for herself. So I'm going to try not to be emotional. My mentor at work passed away. 83 years old. She founded the school I've worked at for 15 years. I went there as a preschooler. My daughters went through there for elementary school. It is a private school based on holistic teaching, very Waldorf-esque school. And her favorite phrase to say is be your own best teacher, right? Be the person who teaches yourself because you know you better than anybody else. This is the moment Illyana is having here, right?
Yeah. And I think more importantly, like not only is she learning, like she learned from the strengths of everybody, but she also learned from their mistakes too. So, you know, I think it is very much like a young person to be like, I know what's best for me, or like I'm 16, I'm an adult, like, you know, so it is on track for this. However, you do see her really come into her own. She is really putting together all of these pieces about who she is and who she wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in Illyana all along, right? Yeah. It's all inside of you. Jackson McCurry says, of course John's wrong. He didn't realize 18 is an adult. You can't even rent a car at 18. How are you an adult? If there are things you can't do legally, I'm going to disqualify you right there. Justin, thoughts on the birth of the Soul Sword, the learning Illyana's going through here?
Yeah, no, just what I was saying before, like this is just a cool angle to see how this all came about because I haven't really learned enough about it prior to this.
But you saw her throw the sword out in the middle of the danger room and try to like slash people down, right?
Yeah, that's right. And when you brought that up, I forgot that we technically saw that prior to this, like just kind of seeing a little bit of how that went down with or she was attacking Kitty right at that point.
Yeah, because she lost control. Like she was having weird like flashbacks for herself, right? This years of trauma just sort of lurched out of her.
She just went off,
and the sword burst out, right? The ability that she's hidden from everybody else because she doesn't want people to know what she went through, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You can die for your country at 18. And that is powerful words right there, Bobby. I appreciate you dropping that. We're really beautifully said. 18, they'll send you to war. Yeah. Powerful stuff. And I mean, obviously Illyana's been at war here. We get to see her now, though. This is what I love. Illyana's like, okay, I got my sword. I'm going to go mess some things up. She instantly like creates a light circle, goes straight to Belasco and is like, here's my favorite part. Not going to kill Belasco. I'm going to ruin your statues. You got all these stupid statues in here. You are not going to have a beautiful home, Belasco. She starts breaking statues down. She starts jumping in his realm. Then Sim is like, oh, crap. Somebody's messing with the boss. She's like, no, I'm cutting him down. Sim's going drop into the ground. Belasco's like, wait, what is going on? This is crazy. And then we get to see it, right? The horns popping out of Magik's Illyana's forehead. They're going away from Belasco. He is like, wait, what's happening? You're robbing me of my power. What's going on? And then for me, it's this moment right here because she feels it. And she's like, wait, this is what I saw happening to Storm. She killed you and it did what you wanted. This was wrong. So she lowers her sword. The horns basically are still in her head, but they start fading. Belasco gets furious. He's like, wait, you're supposed to kill me right now. You've got all the justifiable rage. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm leaving now. Like, I'm done being here. This is not, I have the power now. You don't have the power over me. I'm not giving in to what you've created. This is cool. Gore Vidal says, and Gore, firstly, hey, I'm sorry that I'm covering Jenn up with your comment here, but worth it. He says, her age is inconsequential. It's her ability to adapt to the horrors she's experienced. Intellectually, she had to mature to remain alive and sane. It's like children in war environments. They don't have a childhood.
Yeah.
There's Jenn. Look, she's back.
Yeah.
Jenn, for me, again, we're back to the moment she saw earlier with Storm playing out for herself now with her own empowerment.
And like I said just a few moments ago, this is where she's not only learning from everyone's strengths, but she's learning from their mistakes, and how she can do it better. And I think that's the moment where she decides who she wants to be and how she wants the trauma that she's been through, how she wants to use that as her power.
Right.
Yeah.
Aisling says it's all about balance, right? Her locket they put the bloodstones into has a scale. And controlling the good and evil inside of us. She's making a choice for good here, right, Justin? Like that change to decide. Storm was full of rage, this version of Storm, and immediately killed Belasco and made the mistake of giving in to him.
Yep. Yeah, I love seeing Belasco's reactions here at the end where she's like got the sword in hand, about to swing down, and she stops and she puts it down, and he's just like, no, fool. And he's like so angry that she didn't strike, that she didn't do the, as we've been saying this whole time, he has been in control up until now. And she's smart enough to learn to know that based on all the experiences, as Gore mentioned, kind of forced to learn from all these different mistakes that she's seen others do, and kind of forced to grow up in that sense, just to stay alive and make the correct decision that goes against Belasco, the one trick to stop Belasco, and she figures it out. So yeah, great to see his frustration there because he has been a very frustrating character throughout this
right?
series.
Basically putting the onus back on him.
Yeah.
Basically saying that your toxicity doesn't define me.
Yes.
It's clearly a part of her. She can't get rid of her past or what's happened to her.
Right.
That doesn't define her. And she gets that choice. She
True.
gets that power, right?
Yeah.
Scott with maybe the comment of the night. Really appreciate Gore, Bobby, and Jen all with these thoughtful comments. And I'm talking about personas. I mean, I feel you. I feel you there, buddy. And Gore says, sorry, what did you want to say?
Oh, personas is a very deep topic, Scott. Like, clearly John has thought about that. So
Otter for life. Otters mate for life. They're good with tools. Right, they cuddle well. There's no loss. There's no downside to an otter. I'm just saying.
John's comments with otters.
I'm saying yes. Evening, Bobby. Late to the discussion. She's a tragic character, something out of Italian opera, Greek tragedy. As Jen mentioned several times tonight, mythology coming up here, Gore. You need to rewind and shout Jen out for that. Imagination of the Bronte sisters. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Cormac McCarthy. Get the heck out of here with Cormac McCarthy love. We do not discuss the evils of Cormac McCarthy in this chat. Justin, I think did you get a chance to talk on this? I'm sorry, I'm phasing out.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
let's get to the finale here. We get the moment where Illyana basically says, "This is my destiny. I'm going to use the light circle to connect with the version of me that was pulled back into this realm, but instead I'm going to choose to go forward back where I came from." She joins the X-Men. You get that great pink cloud version of the X-Men as she remembered them, the team that survived and didn't get sucked into the realm of Belasco. And she gets to basically own her own story a little bit here. So Justin, thoughts on how Illyana kind of comes to her own powers here at the end?
Yeah. By the way, you just got a nice super chat there.
I did see that. So let me throw up this comment here. We're getting to the end. I wanted to make sure to tell you all three that this was awesome. Magik's my favorite character of all time.
Oh, nice.
And it was great to see such thoughtful commentary. So I don't know, Aisling, if you know this, but I throw up little videos when people do this on my YouTube channel. So let's $10. I'm going to give you a few videos here to really earn this. So let's do this song here for you.
We got this city on rockin'. Yeah.
There you go. Or how about the me party? Because I know
me party.
Me party. I party by myself. I'm having a me party, and I need nobody else.
Yeah. Or how about we just let it go?
No, well, now they know. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold back anymore. The cold never bothered me anyway.
I love it.
Sometimes sisters just slap each other. You don't know. Love hurts. Sorry, Justin. Did I interrupt you a little bit here? Sorry.
No, that was great. That was great. I don't think I ever caught that last spin at the end.
Oh, it's so good. The beauty of my YouTube channel has been able to take those moments and then make sure I can relive them constantly here with all of you.
I'm sure your daughters love that.
Yes, and they'll continue to
they
love
do
it.
not tell anyone they know
go.
personally that they have this YouTube channel.
That
it's
they have
because they're so proud.
Yeah.
So, Justin, thoughts on the finale here, the ending of Illyana's story?
Yeah, so I love how it buttons up so beautifully. The fact that we get the scene of Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, behind her pulling, and Colossus coming to help out, all based on the stuff that we saw from 160. It jumps right back into that time. I love the pink clouds of the team. That panel is so beautiful. Yeah. And especially looking at it in the omnibus, really nice. It would be cool if that was a spread page even.
Right.
Yeah, and then again, this whole time reading these last bits, one takes place during Christmas, so I love that. It's a Christmas book now to me. So I want to make sure I own several copies. Yes,
I mean,
because
this
of snow.
did drop in December. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So there you go. But on top of that, I had gotten, and I had made a note of this that I wanted to mention. I had gotten, or I thought about the movie Castaway, and one of the things that I guess the reasoning behind this is knowing that all the crazy stuff that she had to go through, and how none of them, the team now, is ever going to really know. I mean, I guess whatever she can explain or whatever, but none of them are going to know what she had to truly go through to survive this. And obviously this is a very different thing than Castaway, but just the mentality of there was no Wilson in this. But
pulls out the soul sword and is like, Wilson.
The tree was Wilson, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Tree.
the tree was Wilson. But
Wow.
but no, just to know how heavy of an experience that she's had, and to know obviously this has been extended 7 years worth, is like I can't imagine. I just can't imagine for someone and a little, a kid to go through this, to go through the experiences that she has. So to me, she is more, clearly more mature than anyone currently on the X-Men right now. Like easily. I feel like she should be
youngest.
And she should be teaching them, along the way in these newer, whatever issues we have coming up next, because just her experience alone. So yeah, I just thought it was done really well. And it was done in a way that, I mean, now we move on to this, whatever we get next with her, and there isn't any more that necessarily has to go. I'm curious if we're going to get more Belasco down the road, or how. I mean, the way things ended, it wasn't necessarily. I mean, he disappears, right? He
does reoccur in Marvel, but not to the level of Mephisto is clearly Marvel's devil, but Belasco does have this second tier status where he does reappear from time to time. I did want to highlight an issue for following up that Chet mentions. I've never read this. I don't know how I've never read this.
Oh.
What if Illyana became the sorceress supreme?
And that's a recent one.
Sounds cool.
I need to read this tonight.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I need to know what issue number this is so I can go into the Marvel app and read that sucker tonight.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's a more recent one.
They're still doing What If in 2023?
Maybe when I say recent, maybe it's like 2018.
How am I not?
Oh, I
reading
do know.
this?
I have this issue.
He says it's issue
cover.
number 1.
I can picture the cover. Yes, it's a modern
2018
book. Yes.
What If run.
Good call. I do recall this. I haven't read
Belasco
it
is
yet.
very spicy. So, Jennifer, I just want to get your thoughts on how this ends. How she comes to. I mean, it's not maturity because clearly she's 13, but she comes to like ownership for herself, right?
Acceptance. And I think what a lot of young survivors of trauma have to go through is they do end up maturing really quickly. It's almost kind of sad whenever you think about telling a child like, oh, you're mature for your age. And it's almost like a code for, damn, you've been through a lot of trauma and you're kind of an old person because of it. But what I do love about this is that it's literally like she's narrating all of this. So it's her writing her own story. Like, to me, that's the metaphor, is that she, no matter what she went through, no matter what was put upon her, is that she gets to choose who she wants to be.
Wow. That's
Nice.
great.
Well said.
So there's a line in Finding Neverland when Johnny Depp's with the boys and the older boy makes a comment, and Johnny Depp says, wow, like I just watched the boy become the man. Like the boy's gone. Like the kid is gone. You've become, and it's he's not saying it with pride, right? There's an element of like tragedy,
Sadness. Yeah.
that he's watched the moment when it's not that there's innocence lost, it's that there's no going back, right? That we've crossed a threshold. It's a threshold moment, and this is her threshold moment.
Yep.
Wow, great stuff. Written by Leah Williams. I like Leah Williams a lot. Art by Felipe Andrade. I don't know that I know that artist, but I'll be excited for that.
I just went ahead and shared the link to you on Instagram for the Marvel Unlimited app. So I just went ahead and shared that.
Come on. You're
So
babying me here. I love it.
Oh, damn, I should have made it harder.
I gotta earn this.
You gotta make him jump through some hoops here.
I gotta go through Belasco's hell here.
Limbo.
Giving it to him in like puzzles and riddles.
Yeah.
If you answer my questions 3.
Give it to him in a Wordle. He'll love that.
God, not the way I scored today. Holy cow! I've never seen so many 9s.
It's a lot of 9s. Yeah.
So this is the last moment. So let's wrap this all up. We're gonna give it a grade here, Justin. If you were gonna give this 4-issue run, I know there's a lot of issues. We've changed artists. We've changed cover artists. How would you grade all 4 of these issues?
Man, yeah, it's I mean, ultimately I loved it. I think knowing more about Magik's history and knowing what the character has gone through, like that didn't click to me that there was this much again within these 4 issues. And even what I said in the beginning, like I'm so happy that they even addressed this time period. I truly hope we get the Vault time period of some sort similar to this, because I mean there's so much potential there. But yeah, so I loved everything about this. This pulls me closer to Magik as a character. I want to go back and read. I had read the first like 6 issues of the New Mutant stuff from the Hickman stuff, and I just haven't had a chance to like continue reading on. I liked what I read, but now I know she's part. I think I read the first 12 issues.
And there's an amazing Marvel graphic novel to go along with the birth of the New Mutants as well.
Yeah. So
like the God Loves Man Kills, like the oversized graphic novel.
Yeah. So stuff like that. Obviously, getting the New Mutants omnibus, like all that. I have plenty of like reading material. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. Hey. Sorry, how did I take Jen out of the stream?
Sorry. What happened?
I don't know what I did there.
Look at all these, and this is they're in this issue or in this.
Is the first issue I think it's probably the Marvel graphic novel. They do have the graphic novel. It's the 3rd issue. The 3rd cover is the Marvel graphic novel.
You're talking about for this?
No, I meant on the back, the 3rd cover. The top left, top right.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Is the Marvel graphic novel.
Interesting. So it actually opens up with the Marvel team up before anything else.
Wait,
Marvel team up.
I changed the format here. What did I do? I don't want that one. God damn. There's too many options, Jen. Have I forgotten how to do StreamYard?
Jesus. Are we in limbo right now? What is happening?
Good Lord.
I thought I was bad at StreamYard.
It's not just you, Jen. It's not just you. Yeah, that's a great I have the first 2 omnibus of the New Mutants run. It's a great run to collect. It's 100 issues, and obviously you go from Claremont, you go through Bill Sienkiewicz, you end up with Rob Liefeld. Sorry, it's a journey. Life's a journey. 80s to 90s, it's a journny. But there's some real the Bill Sienkiewicz stuff. Holds up shockingly well, like startling for a 40-year-old comic book. Holds up really well.
That's great. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
I think for a grade, I mean, this is I'm going to give this a 9. I think the only thing that there were parts maybe that kind of held it back a little bit is some of the artwork where I didn't necessarily love it, but I think that it really wasn't about the artwork in this entire series. To me, this was the story. This was the background, the history, the building of the character, and where Magik has come from to where she is now, all within, this 4-issue, 7-year span. So I think that's where, this stays high up there for me as a 9, maybe a 9.2 even, on our grading scale. But definitely something I will go back to read again. And again, I'm intrigued to read more in terms of Magik. So, definitely want to get on board with more of that.
There's a team up issue for the Karmas and so some of those that omnibus includes the Marvel team up issue totally. Yeah. So there's questions about it's Marvel team up 100, which is also the first time Storm and Black Panther ever meet.
That's right.
So it's a multiple key Marvel team up issue 100 worth checking out. Aisling says, I found my people. Apparently I'm not a Liefeld fan. this is a large group. This is a large group you're in now. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
There's so many of us.
If we ever do if we ever get into New Mutants for the Claremont, and maybe we need to break up Uncanny and do a Claremont New Mutants Omni year
For sure.
we will call you, Scott. Be ready. And we'll book it 3 years in advance, much like we did with Jenn. So be ready for that as well. Jenn, how would you grade this 4-issue miniseries?
You know, I kind of agree with your grading that like 9. I would almost want to say like 9.4, 9.6 for it. Just because I think the most important part of this is the story. Like to me, like the artwork could almost not even matter. It could, I don't want to say that it's bad necessarily, but the artwork inside could be worse. Maybe like putting it to like a 9.4 or 9.2, just because the covers I think could have been so much more powerful, and they weren't, with the exception of that 4th one. So the fact that the artwork is just the thing that's lacking the most. But the story is so powerful and it's clearly resonated. And I think it's been such a powerful origin story that there has not been a single version or like story or arc with Magik in it who didn't have like some type of latching on to this origin. Like every single writer has been able to stay true to it because I think it's been so powerful.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Cali Comics making the comment, Liefeld is a big enough fan for all Liefeld fans. It covers everybody. I'm not saying we wouldn't stop, but we want to include, let's add.
It's still Omni X-Men. We're still, we're gonna eventually. I mean, we're gonna cover Wolverine. We're gonna,
I'm not saying lose weight, chat. I'm saying just tighter, just tighten, just get tighter. I'm right there with you. My number before going into this show was 9.2. So I'm like right in there with you guys. I feel like this is I think it suffers from the transition of artists. Like, I don't know that any miniseries will be great when they're changing artists a bunch. And it's the issue that I think I'm feeling with some of what's going on with Poison Ivy currently is let's throw in 3 or 4 artists. I'm loving the story. The inconsistency of art is a little bit of distraction, but it doesn't impact the joy I'm getting out of it. And it's the same here, right? There's so much great mythology, intelligence of story, deep. There's so much meat on the bone that and I'm sorry, Poison Ivy's a vegetarian, but like there's so much meat on the bone that I don't feel like I'm robbed when the artist transitions happen. It's distracting. It's not ruining. It's not ruinous, right? So that's where I'm at. I'm right there with you guys on all of this. This has been amazing. I know we're at an hour and 57 minutes. Justin's done oversized issues in this time, and I've done 4. So like
even regular size.
Let's talk about numbers. Issue 1 is considered the origin of Illyana. It's also the first appearance of Cat, this version of Kitty Pryde that we're getting. Issue 4 is considered the first time we see Dark Child, this alternate evil version of Illyana. This saga comes directly from issue 160, and we've talked about it a bunch, and I thought I'd include the cover rather than all 4 covers for this miniseries. That's the cover for issue 160. If you've never read it, if you don't know it, it does kind of preface what you're seeing here. So I would say grab it, or at least go on the app and read it. That is important to what you're getting in this issue. And lastly, New Mutants issue 21 will be the first time we see a Magik called Magik. The title of this miniseries is Magik, but it's not given her as a name until far later. Issue 21 has a bit of a sequence where they explain like who the different New Mutants are, and they name her Magik in that issue. So it's kind of important.
That's good. That's cool to know, because I was wondering that, like, knowing that the title is Magik, but I'm like, they don't say that at all. And I do know, that's like listed
nowadays. It's commonplace, right?
Right. So
And Justin gave me the breakdown of the values of these various comics, and put a little line in there so you can kind of see it. You may need to freeze frame and blow it up if you want the info, but the idea is issue 1 as a 9/8. There's about 200 copies and they go for about $110. A 9/8 of issue 2, there's about 40 copies. They go for about $80. There is one 9/9 among all of these comics, and that's issue 3. No sold price because it probably hasn't been sold in a really long time. There's about 39/8 for issue number 3. It goes for about $100. Issue 4, there's about 89/8, and they go for about $200. So
that's the most, yeah.
That's the most expensive.
Usually it's issue 1. Yeah.
Usually, yeah, exactly. I think
That
issue
cover.
4, because it's the first appearance of Dark Child, the darker version.
Oh, and that too.
That's the only like mega key in the whole thing. Sure, there's an origin for Illyana, but I think issue 4 is the one that generally holds the value.
I thought it was because of the cover too, just being
yeah, because it does encapsulate, like we kind of mentioned.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop sharing here now. So hey, look, we're like normal size. We're not super tiny people.
I mean, I'm still very short, so
I mean, I wouldn't know. We're all the same rectangular shape here on YouTube.
On the internet, we're all just rectangular.
Yeah, and if I was JP, I'd be like this. Like JP's camera makes him look super tiny, but the guy's like 6'4".
Yeah, don't be
you
fooled.
wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
And every single person who like knows me from internet land, whenever they meet me in person, is like I've been told multiple times, like, you're short, and it hurts a little bit, you guys.
I'd say you're adorable. Let's do that instead, right? So we're gonna dive into the trivia portion of the show.
Yeah.
As a reminder, we finish each show by doing trivia for the last week's episode. So this is all about the issue, the annual we read over on Justin's channel. We're going to ask some trivia questions. You don't have to know the answer. The first 2 correct answers, they get on the wheel. The answer that Jenn likes the best, the incorrect comedic answers also make a landing on the list. I'm going to create the most epic and most abstract art looking wheel for the giveaway show, full of, let's just look at Ryan Magic Lasso. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 53 entries on the wheel that Magic Lasso's got.
Nicely done.
Chet, on the other hand, has a great shot of winning his own slabs. So really excited for Chet. The funny thing is Chet's had so many entries on the wheel every year, still hasn't won my mystery box. All this time, all these opportunities fail. He's hoping, he's crossing fingers, maybe he'll win. So your job is to avoid typos, get all the typos out of the way, Chet, now. We're looking for 2 correct answers.
I'm looking for really funny typos,
and
however.
funny answers.
That's all you're going to get from Chet. That's all you're going to get from Chet.
I'm going to mute myself at the 2-hour point here and let Justin ask his first question.
Thanks to Chet. That's where we got Rachel Dinners from. Rachel, we'll never forget Rachel Dinners because of Chet. All right, my first question is, and this is again from X-Men Annual 7 that we broke down last week. What happened to Wolverine when he approached Emma Frost while she was sleeping? It was almost like a Sleeping Beauty kind of scene. She had been knocked out from technically issues prior to this, and they weren't sure why she wasn't waking up. Wolverine had walked over to her first. He noticed something was off about her laying there sleeping, and then something happened to him. What was it that happened to Wolverine when he walked over to check out or visit Emma Frost while she was sleeping?
Yeah, it's a wild, wacky annual that I don't know if you've read it, Jen. It's very Mr. Mixoplic X.
Yes.
It's got a lot of like, hey, I'm going to mess with the Marvel universe. We're going to get super meta with this. Just buckle up kind of stuff.
Yeah. Out of this world kind of stuff.
Yeah. John's wife, never do 4 issues again. So here's the benefit, Jackson Worker. Insight into the life of John. My girls are so club sports heavy that Tuesday nights, my wife is the shuttle for Kate's volleyball. And it runs for almost 2 hours. So they leave to go to volleyball. I start this show. They come back from volleyball, and I got dinner ready. It's a win for everybody. Nobody misses out.
Except your wife. It sounds like she's it sounds like your wife's kind of Doing a lot of heavy work there.
I'm the shuttle on Thursdays, so I
But
drive.
you also make dinner.
I make dinner
Got
tonight.
him.
What are you talking about? I make
Oh,
dinner tonight.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that you were done
pressed-
with
he
the
makes
show.
the dinner
Justin
while
saw
she's
me
driving.
run down the hall to check
Yeah,
the oven.
that's true.
Okay.
I've made
okay.
chicken, rice, and roasted broccoli tonight.
That sounds
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah.
nice.
So it's a team. She makes dinner Thursday and I drive Thursday. And then sometimes I drive Wednesday for Charlie's soccer and I do Instagram. So what are you gonna do? So that's why you guys get those Instagram videos of me getting emotional. So I didn't see any correct answers because I'm not paying any attention,
No,
Justin.
I have not. I'm scrolling through. I do not see one correct
The
answer.
question is, what happens to Wolverine? What does Impossible Man do to Wolverine?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. When he goes and walks up to visit Emma Frost, who is sleeping. Wow, no correct answers.
No correct answers.
All right.
Justin
All right.
asking the hard questions.
Yeah. Everyone's tired. 2 hours worth. They're all.
So let's do the comedic
Everyone's
questions. He heard
I see some funny
violence.
ones. I see some fun. Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any that I missed before that? I see a symbol. On JP. I don't know about that one.
Vegetables. He got.
He
vegetables.
tripped and fell face first. Okay, awkward. He vanished. Illusions. There was a snick sound, but it wasn't his claws. He cut fresh flowers, gave it away, and they weren't really flowers. Impossible Man attacked. He got chilly. Brr. He froze up. I get it. He got a diamond Woody. This is a kids channel, folks.
Yeah.
He couldn't move. He got scratchies because he's a good boy. He gets scritchy. I say scritchies. Give my cat scritchies. He got tickets to the Diana Ross concert. He got clonked and saw stars.
I do see two correct answers now.
Yanks his pants down. He got squirted in the face. Makes him smell good. Flowers turn into a water gun and squirts him, which I think is the second correct answer. So we got lasso.
Ryan,
and Roy Kirk.
and Roy Kirk. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, turned into a squirt gun. The flowers around her turned into a squirt gun and sprayed Wolverine in the face. He was very angry.
Jen, was there a comedic answer you enjoyed, an off-the-wall answer?
Yep. The answer that I really liked was Scott's, where he said it was snicked, but it wasn't his claws.
It was not his claws.
I'm
going to start calling that popping the claws.
Popping the claws.
Scott, is
So,
that
like,
your
maybe-
first?
So you know how like what's her name only has two, and
Yeah.
he's got a fourth.
X-23.
Yeah,
Laura.
she's got one on the foot. Yeah, and then two.
Yeah.
Two on top.
Where's
maybe
that
he's-
extra claw?
That's his extra claw.
There you go.
Sorry, y'all.
Scott, that might be Scott's first entry in the raffle ticket.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've
all
been
right.
drinking all night, so I'm
Nice.
just going to mark you down. If I find you in other places, I'll just add it all together. I'm too tired.
That's right. That's the accuracy.
Too tired to care, my man.
Yeah.
All right. My question, Impossible Man is skipping around across the Marvel universe, stealing stuff. And he jumps in, disrupts the Countessa, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character from the MCU, and Nick Fury from getting their swang on, and steals something from Nick Fury. What does she take from Nick Fury? What is she stealing from the SHIELD helicarrier and Nick Fury's really bizarre modern-esque styled bedroom? What is she? What is Impossible Man thieving?
That whole
Yikes!
scene.
Correct answer is a blur here. I got Adam, and I got JP steals Nick Fury's eye patch, which I'm a big fan of that. Comedically, I'm a big fan of that. Steals his one-eyed Willy cover. Lots of great comments on the eye patch. Let's see here. Eye patch. Cursing.
Damn it.
He steals a life model decoy. Classified documents that Professor X declassified with his mind. So Bobby This is a very apropos comment that you're making here. Much better. A higher CG grade from CGC. That's what he stole. A sandwich that Nick stole from Wolverine. Stealing that guy's eye. I want that guy's eye.
That guy's eye.
I get it. Magnums, and I don't mean guns.
The ice cream.
Yeah, oh, there you go. He stole his Burt Reynolds poster. There you go. Nobody steals Legos, Raging Cajun. And JD, nice to see you, my man. He stole his blue pill. Oh. He stole his slabs. That's mean. Naked pictures of Dazzler. Those are all across the internet. Jen, was there a favorite in that group?
I'm probably going to go with the Magnums because the ice cream is I am craving ice cream now, so thank you.
Right? I'm ready for dessert.
Great.
All right, Justin, last question from you for the night.
Yes. So when She-Hulk thought that Colossus and Rogue were stealing costumes from the Avenger Mansion, whose costumes did they belong to? There was a scene where they saw that was the Avenger, one of the vehicles were loaded up with costumes, and it looked like they were the ones stealing them. Turns out they weren't. It was Impossible Man playing these jokes and collecting these items. But who did these costumes belong to that they had initially found?
I mean, like normally, if I didn't know the answer, I would just pick Wonder Man because Wonder Man always has fancier costumes than anybody else. Why I'm a big fan of Wonder Man. Underappreciated West Coast Avenger. I wouldn't call him an actual Avenger. I'll call him a West Coast Avenger.
Yeah. West Coaster.
Lots of correct answers. The chat knew this one straight up. And again, Adam and Ryan Lasso right underneath.
That's good because we didn't really highlight that too much. So I wasn't sure if people had caught that or not. So
I mean, I made some comments about how that era of Wasp known for her vanity.
That's right.
Because if you read Secret Wars, the first thing she asks Magneto to do for her on Battle World is make a comb so she can do her hair.
Yeah.
Talk about a book written by men for men. Fail. What else is it? Is it the Fantastic Four bathtub? Ice cream is good. Good ice cream, says Scott. He's a little. Stop drinking, buddy. It's Four Bushman. Sorry, Four Bushman.
Four Bushman.
Ms. Marvel. I'm assuming at this era you mean Carol Danvers. She's not known as a clothing hound. I don't know that she's known for that. RuPaul's Drag Race. Yes. Yes. The New Mutants. They did change costumes a lot. Wonder Man, not woman. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. Beast didn't really have costumes. He just had his little like Speedo. That was it. All of Kitty Pryde's costumes from one omnibus.
There you go.
That's hilarious and accurate, Candace.
Very accurate.
Iron Man's codpiece. Ouch. Poor Iron Man. Although this was Rhodey, as we learned in the issue. It was the Rhodey era of Iron Man. Recall nothing. I hated it and dreaded it from my memory.
Yeah, Chet has been bashing it.
He's so hate. Considering how much he wants you to read a certain annual.
Yeah, he wants me to read X-Men Annual. That's Chet. I read it. That was the one, right?
She dies but comes back, and hello, I collect a lot. Nice to see you in our chat. How you doing? The rest of Storm's outfits that could fill a few suitcases. All the little scraps made,
all the missing pieces.
Tried to steal Thor's hammer. Didn't go well. All right, I am not a robot. I mean, how many lampposts do you see?
How many traffic lights?
Right. All right, Jen, did you have a favorite in that group?
I think it was Candace who said all of Kitty Pryde's costumes.
Yes. I saw the giggle come out of you, and I was like, "That's the one. That's going to be the one." Well played, Candace.
You saw the giggle.
I did. I love a good giggle. All right. Sorry, I can't read my screen. There's like a cat fur on it. All right. All right. My question is, the really meta portion of this annual has Impossible Man raiding Marvel Comics offices in New York. He is running through the bullpen and raging havoc among all the writers, secretaries, staff, and people working at Marvel Comics. What's he there to do? What's he trying to accomplish at Marvel Comics? What's he there to do? Yeah, he bothers Jim Shooter a lot. Jim's not a happy fan.
Some wacky, some wacky scenes in this one.
I don't know why people are just saying Jim Shooter.
Jim Shooter.
What's he there to do, Jim Shooter? He's there to do Jim Shooter? I mean, impossible, man. Got some swagger. I'm going to accept this. He's looking for Stan Lee. Candace.
Yes.
That is a correct answer.
Nice, Candace.
I think he's there to kidnap Stan Lee, which is the correct answer I got from Paul.
Yeah.
Big O got another raffle ticket. So I think he's there to kidnap. I don't think he's there to murder Stan. I don't think he's specific enough of what he's there to do. But is he there to fight John Byrne? Maybe we all have that moment. We all go through that moment.
We all have that moment.
Everybody's been there. We've read some of the comments from John Byrne behind the scenes. Scary stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Get himself more into comics, right? Get in there. Just get in there. Make them write a well-written female character. It's going to be a while. You got to be patient. You got to be patient, JP. You got to have a little patience. He's going to get his own solo run. Nobody would read that. Nobody would read that. He's there to be in a comic. I mean, he succeeded in that way.
That's true.
That was all he had to do to cancel his subscription. He had to actually go all the way to the offices. Stop sending me New Mutants.
A lot of hoops you got to jump through.
I don't want Rob Liefeld sent to my house anymore. Sign up to be a guest on next season's Omni X-Men. You're out, Ryan. You had 2 shots this year. You're capped. We can't have too much magic lasso. It's too much truth in this show. Chet says, have them write him off the X-Men pages for ruining a 1 issue that he was in. Hate. A lot of hate. Tell them to draw Kitty Pryde better than doing my girl dirty. And lastly, he was trying to be in a comic, which we kind of got that one. Jen, did you have a favorite in the last question there?
I want to say that there would have been the correct answer, and maybe this is because if I was in the situation going to Marvel's offices, it would have been to get all of Jack Kirby's art that they took from him and to steal a whole bunch of money to give to Jack Kirby. That would be the correct answer for me, because justice for Jack
making
Kirby.
sure that Ditko and Kirby got their money.
Yeah. Especially like they didn't give Steve. And anyways, there's some stuff.
No, there's a lot of truth to this, right? It's like Bill Finger, right?
Yep. So 100% giving Jack Kirby more credit and giving him his money and giving him all his original artwork back. That would have been, like, to me, the correct answer. However, I think the answer that I really liked the most, I think that it was Candace. Once again, tell them to draw Kitty Pryde. Yeah,
there it is.
Yep.
Nice. Nicely done.
That makes Candace get an even 30 entries
Ooh.
Nice.
on our raffle giveaway.
Nice.
So Candace is locked and loaded for the giveaway coming up in 2 weeks on Justin's channel.
Yeah.
I wanted to let people know, those of you, the 22 of you in this chat right now, at the start of our giveaway show, we're going to ask trivia about this issue, and you got to make Justin and I laugh.
Yeah.
So
you
we
will
are
have
going to be
one
the
more
ones.
shot.
Yeah, you'll have one more chance to get on the wheel. We will throw out some trivia questions about the Magik miniseries and this great time we've had with Jen, and you can then get on the wheel a few more times based on tonight's show. Those 22 of you that have hung out with us, that have been here tonight, be there at the start, at the beginning of the giveaway show. We'll talk a little bit about how this omnibus still has a big chunk of added material that we want to share with you, a little bit of what's in there at the end, and then give you a few more chances to get on the wheel. So 2 weeks on the 27th of June, we'll be on Justin's channel for that giveaway. So please be there for that.
Yeah, and we will have a couple things. I'll have some things too where we're giving out for just those live in the chat right then and there
Yes.
too. So maybe some trivia, answer something correctly in the middle of the show. It'll be a blast. It's like last year and the year before that. So
It'll be a little bit longer than tonight's show.
times 2 maybe.
2 hours. Like it's on his channel, so you know it's going to go longer. I am promising for me personally 3 giveaways. I'm going to do my mystery box.
I thought you were going to say 3 hours.
I do a mystery box catered to one of you on the wheel, something that is specific to what you are looking for your X-Men collection. I buy stuff all year long that is duplicates of stuff that I love, and I will package together something special for you. Magic Lasso's won one. Climbing Comics is won one. Who will win this year? Be there for that. But I'll also give 2 giveaways of a ton of great reading materials. I got Indies, I got DC, I got Marvel, trade paperbacks and hardcovers galore. I want to give away some stuff, so I'll do
He's
a couple
really
of
just
my
trying to
own.
unload his crap.
I
That's what it
am.
sounds like.
I've got so much Scott Snyder stuff to give
Oh.
away.
Thank you for yeah. Oh.
I could
I love that
just
burn
give
on
away
Scott
Snyder
Snyder.
era stuff for anybody that wants it. So Snyder fans, be there.
There you go.
Chet is giving away at least 2 slabs. I heard it in the chat. You saw it here tonight. We have original art, and maybe Justin will share something as well.
Shout out to Tim. Yes. If your name is JP, you're gonna win one of these. It's gonna be
There
great.
it is.
You get to win this if your name
Cyclops
starts with
just
J
for
and
you.
ends with P.
And again, this is the original art piece from
Yes.
Tim Stacy.
yes.
All these
Shout out
links
to
are down below. The links to Justin's channel, the links to Tim Stacy's stuff, the links to Jen's stuff. I even included the link to buy this shirt from the Ex-Wife's podcast. If you want the it's Magik shirt, if you're a Magik fan and you love this shirt, there's a YouTube podcast team, the Ex-Wife podcast. They've been on this show. We love and support them.
Justin,
You can get this shirt. Go to their link, click it, and get over there. Even my stupid T-shirts are listed down below. There's lots of stuff in the links now that you're finished with the show.
Yeah.
Jen, it's been too long. I'm
It has
glad
been
that we
way
got to
too
spend
long.
2.5 hours with you.
Yes, this
We
was.
made
That
up
you
for
were
lost
willing
time.
Yes,
to
we did.
suffer 2.5 hours of this.
No, I'm so glad to be here. It's been a while since I've been doing shows because the show that I regularly do on Sundays has kind of been on like an indefinite hiatus. It's coming back. It's gonna feel maybe a little bit different, but we'll be back. I'll be back. So we'll see.
Just the hint. It's like adding a little seasoning to a great meal. Just the hint of a Mars and Jen reunion is more than I could have ever wished from this show.
Yep.
I really want to. So hopefully it's back up soon.
Oh, well, if I can share the link and highlight that when it's coming back, you let me know because I'm happy to do it because I love you ladies. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Comic fans just jumping in here at the end. Thank you for that. I appreciate you coming through. Justin just had an interview a little bit ago on his channel, and I want to recommend people go over. He interviewed a great voice actress. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan and you missed it, click the link. The upcoming Hershey Comic-Con is coming up in Pennsylvania, and Justin apparently is like repping the entire con because he's getting really great people, whether they're the promoter of the con or they're people from the con. They're coming to his channel. You should get over there and sub Justin's channel for that content and then watch the rewind of the video he did just a little bit ago.
It was fun. Shout out to Stephanie Nadolny. She's the voice for Kid Gohan and Kid Goku from Dragon Ball Z. So they're a lot of fun. Little spoiler, I haven't really like officially put this out, but I'm sharing this with my Omni X-Men family. I will be setting something up with Al Milgram coming up here soon. So can't wait for that either. So
Marvel royalty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excited.
Maybe one day you'll get to talk to your dad.
One day.
What is up, Kevin from Entropy and Comics? Good to see you.
Kevin.
Working mathematician. Good to see you. Firstly, amazing name. Hello. And my copies of Tom and Ryan's comic Crashdown are pre-ordered and they're on their way.
Nice.
I
Sorry,
also just
Jen,
want to say
what were you
finally at the end, Luna showed up. He literally just jumped up.
Okay, large screen.
Nice.
Wait, no, large screen. Oh,
He's purring. I promise. I'm not like holding him
what
against his
a
will.
cutie. Oh,
He's like,
here's dropping links to the Stephanie Nadolny interview.
yeah. Thank you, Perry.
I don't know if you know, Jen, we've basically become a cat household here. I have a cat. I never owned a pet, and I basically own a cat now.
It's so funny because you did mention it during the show, and maybe I just like haven't been like keeping up with the comic book community as much as I should. But as soon as you said that we have a cat, I felt almost a little bit betrayed, because I feel like since I've known you for like 3 years now, like every single time you post something about cats, or even like you post something about dogs, I'm like, you getting one, right? You like, I think when you had the cats at the school, I was like, you're taking one home like multiple times, and you're like, no. So I feel a little bit betrayed that I didn't get like an immediate notice that like, okay, I finally did it.
So I will give the synopsis for Jen, and for all of you that are watching and wondering like why a cat would run by behind me on a screen every once in a while. My school had a stray cat a year ago, found in the garage of my private school, and she had 8 kittens, and she was very protective of them, and wouldn't really trust us, and she was a stray, but she had a collar with no tags. We couldn't find owners. She wasn't chipped or anything. We gave away the 8 kittens, including one to a neighbor across the street. That kitten comes home every day, comes across the street to the school every day to play with her mom, and now is enormous Mancoon cat. Mom, before we could spay her, had 8 more kittens. So 16 kittens in less than 8 months. She had 16 kittens. We gave away the other 8 kittens. My daughters, my wife, and I have taken Mom. Mom, we call her Mama. Her name is Mama Cat. The school, all the kids know her. All the teachers, all the staff know her as Mama. She's a very outdoor cat. She does not like to be kept inside. So when I drop her off at school, I bring her to school still every day. The chosen home, the chosen family she's found. She runs wild, climbs the trees, climbs the roof of the building, runs in and out of classrooms, sleeps on teachers' chairs. And on the weekends, she sleeps there at night. She's there tonight. There is staff that feed her at night. I take her home on the weekends when no kids are there and she's a little lonely. And so she lives with us on the weekends. We're taking her home on Thursday night for the summer because there's no kids there all summer. So she's going to live with us for the summer months. And the girls, we take care of Mama Cat.
I love this so much.
So my wife never liked cats, didn't want a pet, but has fallen in love with Mama. And we are turning our lives over for this amazing cat.
Every time you guys say cat, I just think of Limbo Cat.
She does not wear a skimpy high thigh, open butt cheek costume. She's a calico, so she can kick butt. She's definitely willing. Nobody's gonna snap her neck. Yeah. Nobody's gonna snap her neck. Brutal. So that's the story of Mama, and we'll have her all summer. We're gonna buy a vest for her so we can like take her out, let her go outside, and not lose her. And she's an awesome cat. So yes, we are a cat family now. So now we're almost at exactly 2.5 hours. I've just derailed this show thanks to Jen and our love for cats. It's great. 2 weeks from now, over on Justin's channel, if you want to be on season 4, hit us up. I'm making the list already to look at next season's shows. Yep. And as you know, booking this stuff in October for a full year. So be ready for that.
You gotta jump on it. Yeah.
Thanks for everybody for coming by. And I'm going to leave us on some beautiful artwork. Happy birthday, Justin.